Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, and so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show. Booyah!
Yes.
Hey, what is up? Y'all heard of Tommy Bahama. This is Tommy Tyvis, a.k.a. Schoolboy T.Y. in the crib.
Come on now.
Tyvis Powell, G. Bush, Mikey McNuggets with you on this beautiful
Shout out to the Guardians.
Wednesday morning. Bull is off, Jay is off, so y'all got the A squad here today, minus our two favorites. G. Bush got coffee an hour ago, and he's still flabbergasted at how it's so scorching damn
still hot, bro. McDonald's, y'all got to do better, bro. I remember the old case. Everybody heard the urban legend about the lady that spilled the coffee and sued McDonald's because it was way too hot. I got this coffee over an hour ago, and this thing is still at 99.9 thousand degrees Celsius. That's not Fahrenheit.
They want you to.
Celsius is what. This is devastating.
That's the point of it.
I can't even drink it. The point of coffee is to be able to sip regularly, not wait till the show is over and drink. This is crazy. By the way, Tyvis is channeling his inner Giannis. You know, he's gone fishing already. You know, Giannis been on vacation for weeks now, so it's good to see.
That's fine. We'll get into that later on.
We will get into that. G. Bush said he got his coffee an hour ago. Tyvis, you got here. You're usually upstairs with us about an hour before the show. Today, we came down to the studio at 10:30, and we're looking around like, where's Tyvis? Where's Tyvis? We waited to call you, and then we get a text from Tyvis. And do you want to tell the people where you were real quick?
I was in the bathroom. You know, it was one of those things that. So everybody knows that I got like a 2-hour drive. But today was an interesting day because, see, I got a new grill. I got a new Blackstone grill. So my old Blackstone, I was giving it to my mother-in-law. So she lives in Worcester, which is on the way from Columbus to here. So I had to make a detour, drop the grill off, right? Boom, get that out the way, and I hit back on the road to get here on time. The last 50 minutes of the ride, my stomach just go bloop, 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 bloop.
The little fish air
And I'm just like, oh no, like this is bad. So I'm like, well, I got 50 minutes till I get to Cleveland. I think I can make it. So I'm flying. On top of that, it was some shoes that came out. Them Jordan 6s came out today, the all red ones.
So
I had
you
to
on StockX trying to get?
No, I was on the sneaker app trying to get that too. So I'm driving, going fast, trying to get here while buying shoes. It was a lot. But I get here, and nobody was in here when I got here. I got here at like 10:15. Nobody was down here. So I put my bag right over there to let y'all know that I was here.
Okay, fair.
Boom, ran to the bathroom, and it was like Pops off Friday, man. I was in there. But I feel 5 pounds lighter, boy. I tell you, man, I feel good.
Hey, man, Tyvis, congratulations.
Hey, man, listen, a nice bowel movement is healthy for you, actually.
Well, actually, I want to congratulate you on bringing another life into the world. You gave birth to a brand new dolphin. A baby dolphin is now swimming in the toilet. Congratulations.
I feel better, though. I feel better. I'm ready for a great show.
Was it one of those ones where you were hungry afterwards?
No, because now that's the thing. So let me tell you, I had some Wendy's breakfast, and as I was eating the sandwich.
That's why.
That's when it hit.
That's why.
It was like I was good the whole way, and I ate the sandwich, and boom, it like ran straight through me.
McNuggets, there is not. No. He could have said McDonald's breakfast.
Wendy, that's a mistake.
Wendy's got some good breakfast.
I don't even.
I
mean, listen, bro. You can eat 2 things at Wendy's: junior bacon cheeseburgers and nuggets. Other than that,
facts.
Don't be deviating to the other meals.
Wendy's,
6s and 5s. And
some people put Wendy's above McDonald's.
Stop.
Those people are wrong.
Those people
Objectively,
crazy.
It's not wrong. I mean, Wendy's has got some good food.
Anthony, where'd you and Earl have breakfast this morning?
We had McDonald's breakfast. Got a sausage McMuffin with 2 hash browns. Earl,
why don't you get a steak bagel?
Earl had the same thing.
Have you guys crapped your pants this morning?
Oh, I'm figuring by like 12:45, I'll be ready for the show to wrap.
That's called low management.
He still got to. He said at 12:45.
You see what he did there?
Y'all terrible, man.
Well, I don't think we have time for final takes, so I do want to give a shout. I went to Il Rione last night. Have y'all been to Il Rione, the pizza joint in Gordon Square?
No. I don't even. I don't know where these squares is.
It's in Lakewood. You live in Lakewood.
I don't.
Or lived in
I don't.
Lakewood.
Gordon Square is kind of not labeled very well.
All I'm saying is, Bull told me it was the best pizza in Cleveland. It was hands down the best pizza I've ever had in Cleveland. So shout out Il Rione if you haven't been there.
Well, if we doing
Check it out.
Well, if we doing that, then put the camera on me, Steve. Put the camera on me, cause last week I was telling y'all that I was going to the Crispy Chick.
Yeah. Good, right?
Listen to me.
Real good.
Listen, let me sell it for y'all. First of all, support local black businesses. If you got time to go to the Crispy Chick, if you like Cane's, okay, if you want to go all the way to Strongsville for Cane's, you ain't even got to do that. Go right down to 55th to go get you some of this Crispy Chick. It's just like Cane's, but it's got more. It's like the seasoning on the chicken and the fries.
It's just better.
It's equivalent to when Grandma used to make chicken. It's like that type of seasoning on the chicken and on the fries, man.
I told you it was good. I told you it was good. Yeah.
Listen, don't wear no socks, because when you bite that chicken, they going to come off anyway.
Well, I'm in between paydays, so let me just put the camera on me. So, Steve, man, I'm going to tell you, I went to the crib, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to mess with these houses, these floors, and these cats be giving me all kind of hell. They be charging me out the wazoo, bro. I'm just out here poor. So guess what? I went to the crib yesterday. I got me some not chicken ramen, some beef ramen. Oh. But I put the beef ramen on the stovetop. It wasn't microwave. It was on the hot pot. And then what I did to spice it up, I put on top of the seasoning packet, I had me some crushed up chilies. And so I had the crushed up chili. It was a spicy beef ramen. Ooh. It was like a hibachi type deal. And I ate that, boy. It was just the right amount of sauce, and the noodles was cooked perfectly. Man, I had to put 2 packs in there, bro. I told my girl, no, you can't have none of these.
I'm in between.
Yeah, I'm in between. So shout out to the Top Ramen. Yeah, man.
Thanks for not eating that before the show, or you would have been there with Tyvis.
Yeah.
But moving on.
Hey, that's the intro you get without Bull. You wouldn't think that you got the 3 most in shape guys in the show come in and talk food for the first 10 minutes, but guess what?
Some good food.
That's what we do. We got a big show coming up. We'll do Bull's Bet in 1 sec. We are going to talk about a potential Donovan Mitchell for Jaylen Brown swap if it's on the table. We're going to talk about some new special teams rules in the NFL, which Tyvis is kind of hot on. This may eliminate a roster spot for the Browns, which we'll get into. We're going to talk a little Guardians potentially at the end. Will Brennan made peace with the Birds last night by hitting a home run. He honored Anthony, I think with the tag board, but he said that home run was for the bird he killed the day before. And here it is, in memory of the bird, Brennan goes yard, silly willy for the dub. The Guardians, though, took a 4-2 loss to the White Sox. We'll get into that. John Morant posted on his Instagram page today a cryptic goodbye message. We'll dig into that. And we'll also talk whether or not the Browns have a championship-caliber roster heading into the 2023 season. But first, we have Bull's Bet of the Day. Anthony, who's that brought to us by?
It's always brought to you by BetRivers. Hey, Ohio, BetRivers Online Sportbook is the place to be for every single game. Now is the perfect time to join BetRivers Sportbook. When you use deposit code SPORTS, you'll receive a second chance bet up to $500. Get in on all the action with weekly specials on your favorite sports like basketball and hockey. Go Knights. To help you win big, check out BetRivers.com or download the BetRivers app today for the latest lines, odds, and boosts. And Bull is taking Red Sox minus 104 at the Angels tonight.
He's taking the money line. Bull won his bet yesterday. He is 2-0 this week, and he is 30-19 on the season when it comes to his baseball bets. If you want to win money, bet it with Bull. And you guys with that, ready to get into some real top. Are you going to keep the sunglasses and hat on the whole show? We decided?
I think so.
Okay, so y'all see me randomly giggling, it's because I looked at Tyvis, and that's just not going to not be funny for 2 hours. So, with that being said,
serious moment.
With that being said, last week, and this came out before the Zadarius Smith trade, so that's a caveat we do have to consider here. PFF released its rankings of the best rosters in football based on talent, positional importance, top to bottom. And Anthony, do you want to start? We want to run through all 32 real quick, and then we'll break into whether or not the Browns are properly ranked too high or too low?
Yeah, so Steve, you can take 177 here. So at first place, they have the Eagles, then the 49ers, the Bengals, the Chiefs, and then the Bills. Steve, we can go next. 6 got the Cowboys, the Jets, the Ravens, the Chargers, and the Dolphins. Go ahead, Steve. Seahawks, Steelers, Lions. There's our Browns there at number 14. Jaguars. Vikings, Commanders, Patriots, Saints, Broncos. Raiders, Bears, Giants, Panthers, Titans. Falcons, Packers, Buccaneers, Colts, Texans, Rams, and very last, the Cardinals.
So that's PFF's list of the best rosters. I will say once again, this was before the Zadarius Smith trade. So let's start with that little caveat first. Adding Zadarius Smith to this roster, do you think that bumps the Browns up 2 spots? Zadarius Smith, 2 spots, 3 spots, 4 spots?
Let me see that.
Where do you think that
goes? Let me
goes?
see that again, Anthony. Where
they're at 14.
I need to see the teams where the Browns is.
It's the
that
third
slide.
one. Yeah, 11 to 15. They come in at number 14. They're ranked 4th in the division behind the Steelers, Ravens, and Bengals. But once again, I think, me personally, the Zadarius Smith move puts them ahead of the Steelers now at the minimum.
They definitely above the Lions. I'm going to tell you that right now because the Lions secondary is trash. As far as Pittsburgh is still – I think Pittsburgh got some game records, but it's still some position that's they need there. They didn't address all of their needs, but particularly their offensive line is still not that great. I like the Browns. When you look at the Browns team, I don't really see like a flawed spot. Like I think they got players in every position. If you look at the offensive line, defensive line, secondary, linebackers may be the only one, but those guys have been productive at times. So I think when you look at it like that, I would put them above Pittsburgh too.
G?
Man, I want every Cleveland Brown. I want every Cleveland Brown to tap in real quick, man. Right now, man, y'all cats is ain't y'all tired of this? Like, y'all cats be getting disrespected at an all-time level. And for once, I would like y'all to go out and play with some sort of chip on your shoulder and attitude, because they treat y'all like a bunch of nice dudes that don't matter. And for the most part, I can't fault them for it. But y'all got so many dudes and playmakers on this roster, and they consistently give you this backhanded, disrespectful, oh, it's just the Browns talk. Like, when is y'all going to get ready to go out and dominate people and then say, yeah, we dominated them and we don't like them? When are we going to get to a point where y'all can actually talk to other people in the division and be like, listen, the Bengals is cool, but we don't fear the Bengals or the Ravens, and we definitely don't even like the Steelers. The fact that they got the Detroit Lions higher than y'all as far as talent, the fact that the Steelers is even remotely, even close in terms of talent rated higher than them, and the Seattle Seahawks, like at the end of the day, I like some of these teams, but when you look at it, nobody can boast this. We arguably got the number 1 pass rusher. We arguably got the number 1 running back. You talk about it, we got a top 5 offensive line. You've upgraded your receivers, and you already had Amari Cooper. Your secondary is nice. You got dudes in there in the secondary that have won championships. You got the leading tackler on the team was your safety, and he's coming back. And not to mention, you got a Zadarius Smith, who's now gives you probably the best tandem in terms of pass rushers. They disrespect y'all, and they do it because they feel they can get that off. I want y'all to look at this stuff and come out this year and be like, look, we not about to be nobody's doormats, because we tired of hearing this noise and jargon and stuff like that. It's a disrespectful spot to be 14, especially behind the Steelers with their no-name quarterback. That's terrible.
Yeah, I do think the Zadarius Smith move would change the rankings. I certainly think they'd move up a couple spots. G alluded to something that this brings us to the big question with this topic here. Looking top to bottom, and we don't have a final 53-man roster yet. We have about 70 guys on the team. They'll add more. They'll end up cutting it down to 53. When you look at this Browns team entering the 2023 season, Tyvis, we'll start with you. We'll go around. Do the Browns have a championship caliber roster heading into week 1 of this year?
Based off of talent alone, they've had a championship roster for the past 3 years. I think that the difference is that is what G alluded to. It's the attitude of the players. It's the attitude of the team. I think that's because the talent is there. I mean, on paper, talent-wise, every position has exactly what they need to win a championship. It's the attitude. It's the doing the extra stuff. It's being a professional about the career. That's what they're lacking on this team. If they can get that to meet the expectations of this team, then they would definitely be a playoff team, could go to the championship for sure, because they have addressed all the major concerns that was on this team. I think they will do it because of with the coaching staff that they got in there, it'll change the mindset of these players. But at the end of the day, it's all about attitude. They come in there with that, and we the dog pound, and y'all want to be some dogs, go out there with that attitude, and I promise you, y'all would not just win, y'all will blow a lot of teams out, because on paper, as far as roster, it's an X factor each week. Y'all have a mismatch somewhere every week on y'all roster, so y'all just got to exploit it.
I wouldn't even mind if they played in a way that they call the Browns a dirty team.
I wouldn't mind that either.
I'd
say thank you. It's about time.
About
time.
I don't want people comfortable. I don't want I don't want people's children comfortable coming to the stadium. If you see the Browns on the schedule, you say, no, we're gonna go to the Steelers. We'll go to the Steelers game because we're not gonna show up in Cleveland Stadium like that because you know what is gonna happen. Like it's too lax. It's too comfortable. I need to see that from the Browns. When is the last time, Tyvis, you saw the Browns play a team and they winning and they slap on that extra touchdown?
Well, they don't. But do you know what the reason is though? The head coach.
That's not the
attitude of the head coach. That's not who he is.
God.
Now I'm not saying nothing's wrong with that because on the offensive side of the ball, I think he is. I've seen him do it. I've seen him torment corners and stuff like that. If he sees blood in the water, he attacks it. That's what I've seen before. So. But I just think overall as a head coach, he doesn't come off to me as that type of guy. He's a very
maybe
laid-back type of guy.
So here's the thing. What I would like to see is I want to see Jim Schwartz or somebody in this. And people talk about changing the culture a lot. Culture is just a word that people throw around. You got to drill down on that. I want to see killer instinct. I want to see you embarrassing people. One thing I can always appreciate about a coach, Urban Meyer, that you played for. Urban Meyer has always been the way he is.
Yeah.
When he was at Bowling Green, I was at OU. And we played them in that same office they was running around. They put 72 points on us. They beat us like 72-10. And I loved it because I saw the look on my coach's face when we was getting smoked. And I was looking at him like, that's another man on the other sidelines, McNuggets, giving you that work. And you can't call it off. And at the end of the day, I respected him even though I was on the other sideline because you knew what you was going to get. If you was thinking that they was going to give you the gentleman's punt and they was going to keep the score down to 44-10, that's not what he's about. He's about pouring that Kool-Aid.
That's a fact.
Like Kool-Aid.
Listen, he would tell you, listen, it's not our fault that they're on our schedule. It's up to them to get better. We're not about to come down and play to their level. We're teaching them a lesson. If you want to compete with us, you got to get better. And that's just what it is. It's a dog-eat-dog world. This game of football is a violent game, okay?
Yeah.
If you got the chance to run up the score and let somebody know that it is what it is, this ain't no fluke, then you do it. And that's what Stefanski needs to do. Just go out. You got all the tools to score as many points as you want. And there's nothing that a lot of teams can do about it. Really, honestly, when you look at it, it's like there's nothing you can stop. So just do it. Unleash the playbook. That's what you need to do.
And to your point, it's not just offensively anymore. Like, they have the pieces on defense, too, to run up the score on offense and completely shut you down on defense. When Bull said this last week, and I think he's spot on. When you look at their position groups, top to bottom, quarterback, running back, receiver, the only one you can even make the argument that is below league average potentially is linebacker.
Yep.
And I think it's too fair to even fully judge that linebacker room because of the circumstances last year, as you've alluded to, Tyvis, where they were taking on offensive linemen and trying to make plays, and they're just not big enough and/or talented enough to do that. Back to the question, is it a championship roster? I think absolutely it's a championship roster. And you look at the DNA of championship teams. They all have relatively three things in common. They're each unique in their own ways, but they have three things in common. One, top-tier quarterback play. We did not see that from Deshaun Watson last year. We all expect him to get back to at least the same level he was in Houston, if not even better. Cross that off. I believe the Browns have top-tier quarterback play when Deshaun Watson has a full offseason with these weapons. Two, you got to get to the damn quarterback. Last year, Kansas City, Chris Jones and Frank Clark. The Eagles had 4 dudes with 10-plus sacks.
Yeah.
Now the Browns have Jim Schwartz, Zadarius Smith, with Myles Garrett, with Obo Okonkwo, with Dalvin Tomlinson, who Matt Collar told us last week doesn't have the sack numbers, but is an underrated pass rusher from the interior to go with a Mo Hurst, a Tristan Hill, a Siaki Ika. They have weapons. And Ajeez even said last week, too, you got JOK on blitz stunts now, which is where he excels. And then you got to have playmakers and game breaker kind of playmakers. And on offense, Nick Chubb, as good as it gets. In the receiver room, we've seen Amari Cooper take over games. We all think and believe Elijah Moore can be that outside X factor for the Browns. Maybe it's Cedric Tillman. Hell, maybe it's David Njoku making one-handed catches like he did against the Buccaneers in overtime, or to send that game to overtime. And then on defense, Denzel Ward, Martin Emerson, Newsome, Delpit. Maybe JOK develops into that. In my opinion, those are the characteristics and the DNA of championship teams and championship rosters. And you look at the Browns from top, Myles Garrett, Deshaun Watson, Nick Chubb, down to whoever's 53 man on that roster. there's not a weak spot to look at least on paper. Will that translate? We'll see in week 1. But you have every reason in the world to be excited about the perspective of this team based on the 53 guys on that roster as we head into the season.
Well, I'll take it a step further. I mean, to be honest with you, it's actually win or nothing, because after this season going to hit, so it's a lot of players that you won't be able to retain, or you're going to have to cut for cap casualty.
There's a really good chance this is Cooper and DPJ's last season.
Exactly. If Tillman and Elijah Moore have big years,
they're gone.
They're gone.
Yeah.
And I want to. I think sometimes you got to go back and question and look at certain things. I think a lot of this talk and conversation has to do with Deshaun Watson, and we talk about these last 6 games, right? Let's be for real. Like, how difficult is it? How difficult is it to not play in all these years, right? And then you come back, and you don't come back at the beginning of the season. You come back in the middle of a playoff hunt. These dudes, Tyvis, you know what type of shape and what type of game reps that you need. At the when you come in the middle of the season, there's a lot of things you know. You already know what I need to do to get my body ready for the week. The speed of the game has slowed down. Now you know on film tendencies, everything that you've been looking at from different teams. You've now had the time to make adjustments and mistakes that happened before. Now all those things are things that people are ready and prepared to play in the middle of the season. Now, if you just throw a quarterback in there and it's the hardest position in the world to play, you ain't threw it, you ain't throw the ball in the whole year, you sat a year before that, you had no offseason, you didn't play in the preseason, the speed of the game is probably going like this, 1,000 miles an hour. Now, when we take a look and say, okay, Deshaun Watson, I think it's fascinating that people have written him off on 6 games, but they didn't write Stafford off. Matt Stafford didn't play all that well. They didn't write. We talk about David Carr. They didn't write him off. Heck, they didn't even write Derek. Same person.
Wrote David Carr after the rookie year. He was tough. That was a tough career.
Same joint. Yeah. But they didn't. Listen. Rodgers had a tough year.
Yeah.
They don't write these. They're not writing these guys off at the same level as all of a sudden for 6 games. Coming out of nowhere, all of a sudden, Deshaun Watson ain't never been good, ain't never going to be good, and now the Browns is rated 16-20. So that's crazy.
So PFF, and I forget which PFF writer it was. I think it was Sam Monzon. I could be wrong. But they released their top 32 quarterbacks entering the season list, I think 2 days ago. And we've done so many quarterback rankings, like I don't know how many more times we could say. I thought what he wrote for Deshaun Watson was as accurate as anyone I've heard. He ranked him 13th, by the way, 13th or 14th. And he said Deshaun Watson is the single hardest player to rank heading into the 2023 season. The single in the entire league, any position. He played 6 games in 2 years. We didn't see the normal progression of an elite quarterback from game 1 when he did play to game 6. It wasn't just shake off rust good. It was he just wasn't really good for 6 games. Showed a little signs of improvement. He wasn't as bad in week 6 as he was against Houston in week 1, but it wasn't like he was bad, little better, little better, little better. For the most part, he wasn't great last year. He wasn't very good last year, frankly said. But we also know what Deshaun Watson can do. And it's hard to kind of find that middle ground of, am I confident he's going to get it back? I think he can, but I haven't seen it in 2 years. We only have that 6-game sample size to grade him on in 2 years. You know what I mean? You play bad. So he's like, I think he's going to get back to being good, but I don't know how to officially rank that.
Pause this. Just put it right there. So 6 games, right? So give me 6 games. He didn't play good in 6 games, but the man got 111 touchdowns and 41 picks and 67% of his passes. Like, let's not act like you don't have a sample size. You know what it is. Like, people be acting real funny. Like, was he injured that year he sat out? No. He didn't do nothing. He was chilling.
Yeah.
So you got the next year, you got 6 games with no preseason, nothing. These dudes is writing him off for 6 games when I just saw 111 touchdowns.
But you know what? You know what the question really is? Are they writing him off, or are they writing the play caller off?
Well, and real quick before you answer that question, G, they're not going to give Watson the benefit of the doubt.
No.
Like so in all these rankings too, I think it was Sam Monzon, Anthony. What he said's fair. He's tough to rank just because we haven't seen it in 2 years, and that is fair. Like, we all think he's going to be good. We just haven't seen it in 2 years.
Do you trust Deshaun Watson?
Yes, I
Do you
think
trust Kevin Stefanski?
For the most part, yeah. I think his play calling issues have been overstated. I'll be honest.
Garrett? I'm going to tell you about Stefanski.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
I
went against Kevin Stefanski before, so I know he's actually.
From what I hear, what Kevin Stefanski said, when he said, I don't care, we'll just write up new plays. If Deshaun don't like the plays, we're going to go in every week with new plays or whatever one is, and that's how we're going to move. That's the attitude I like, because now you put a little bit of onus and ownership in Deshaun Watson's back pocket, where it's saying every single week we go in here, these are the plays we put in. These are the plays you said you're comfortable with. Now we need you to go execute the plays that you like and you said you're comfortable with. And for once, I think if you got a franchise quarterback, the coach is going to move naturally to the background.
Yeah.
If he naturally moves and he becomes part of the stands or part of the staff, or he's not the focal point. And sometimes when you don't have a franchise quarterback, you put a lot of emphasis on the guy who has the sheet in his hand.
Yep.
But when you got talent and that ball moving up and down the field, it goes from, all right, well, you a nice dude, to, oh, well, Deshaun Watson and the Browns are playing well, not Kevin Stefanski and the Browns offense. Mm-hmm. That's what we need to get to.
That's totally fair. And when you look at the weapons the Browns have this year, there's no shortage of options for Stefanski to dial up in the run game, in the passing game, in the play action game, the intermediate, the deep passing, the short passing, the screen. Like, they have weapons on 1st and 10 and 3rd and 17. Stefanski should have 3 good play calls in every situation. And I liked when he said, I'm working with Deshaun Watson side by side, hand in hand, to make sure he's comfortable. If he doesn't like a play, guess what we're doing? I don't have a piece of paper, but toss it out, we're going to draw up a new one. Like, that's what a good play caller should do with a franchise quarterback. And every indication we've got from the Stefanski-Watson relationship has been working towards this. A full offseason, those two putting their football minds together, creating and birthing a playbook that completely complements Deshaun Watson's skill set.
And we need that energy level. People talk about, they talk so much about what Deshaun Watson does on the field. I want to see Deshaun Watson. I challenge you right now. I challenge you. I need to see 2 to 3 celebrations a game. I need to see 2 to 3, 4 celebrations. Like, I need that exuberance, that youthfulness. I need that excitement, that stuff that people believe in. When you score a touchdown, I need you to let people know you scored a touchdown and you about to go back out there and put some more points on the board. See, sometimes when you go through a lot of different things in your life, people will strip you. They'll strip you of your powers. They'll say, you know, what makes you you is your personality. And they'll say, well, you got to show that you're contrite. You messed up, and they'll keep reminding you messed up. That was a year ago. This last year was the messed up year. This year, you go and mess other people up this year. Like, you let them know. And so when they talk about the Cleveland Browns, you're not going to be hearing allegations. You're going to be hearing, well, dang, Deshaun Watson is having an underneath a low-key MVP season. Wow, this dude is leading the league in touchdowns and completions. Wow, this dude got the Browns looking like, yeah, that's how you shut people up, that play on the field. And so I'm excited to see Deshaun Watson get back to that level where he got that swag and that it thing. Like, that's what I want to see.
Well, I think if he shows that, I think it'll unleash everybody.
Yep.
That's the thing. Because if he comes out there and he's swag, it's contagious. It's like, man, I want to do that myself. So, like, let me start making some plays. Now you got a whole team that's getting their confidence. People call it cocky, but in this game, you got to have some cockiness or confidence in your game if you want to excel. And that's one of the clear things I seen missing on offense last year, was that there was no confidence. Even that and defense, there was no confidence. I don't know if it was in the coach or if it was in the plays or whatever it was in, but there just wasn't no confidence out there.
I was on Phil Taylor's show yesterday. And I'm gonna ask you this question, Tyvis, and G. Bush, you too. Does that come, like, and you say you don't know if it comes from a coach, but if a coach has, I don't want to say swag, but like if a coach has that exudes confidence, he walks around the locker room and he knows that his stuff is good. You know what I'm saying? Like, these plays are gonna work, this defense is gonna work. My shit's good. I don't know how else to phrase it in a way. Does that exude to the team? Does the team kind of pick up on that and play with that same swag and confidence? And if it's not there, does the team struggle to kind of find that within themselves?
I'll give you an example. You want to know how I know it's true?
That's why I asked you.
Let's take Cincinnati, for example.
Yeah.
They got Lou as a defensive coordinator, and now all of a sudden they making these plays. There's some trash talking going on. They're confident. Mm-hmm. Before Lou, there wasn't a lot of noise being made out there in Cincinnati. And now all of a sudden they do now because of the defensive coordinator. So, yes, the coach the coach and trusting and having confidence in the game plan, because a good defensive coordinator would show you, like, this is the play that they're going to run. This is what we're going to do to stop the play. And then as a smart player would say, okay, well, if we're going to do that, what happens if they adjust and do this? He'll say, it still works. They'll do this and boom, we'll be right here. Yeah. And you'll be sitting there thinking like, well, if that's the case, there's nothing that they can do. So now you got that confidence going into the game. Like, no matter what answer you try to come with on offense, we got an answer for you defensively, and that makes you play with confidence.
Same for you, G?
Yes, like I give an example. Like, you know, like you're a producer, right? Like when we first started doing these shows, like you don't really know who you got on the cast. You're trying to figure out what people's strong suits is and how they moving or whatever. But after you get to be in the mix of it, you've seen people talk on the run and you see people come together. It's like, okay, well now you put a rundown together, and you'll be like, man, ain't no such thing as a bad show. Like I could put these topics together. I know people is going to be able to talk to them, expound to them, ad lib, be funny, do all these other different things because you've seen it before, because you got the collection of people. I think that when you give that off, like when you say, okay, we about to do this today, and it's going to work, this is psychology. This isn't just regular sports. This is all about the psychological mindset of people and successful people, visualizing success, being successful, telling yourself in the mirror, I am going to be this, manifested into reality. And a lot of people think that's just jargon, but the people that really are successful in life, from business to science, the people that are extremely smart or to athletes, those people expect that they're going to win. And even that's not saying that they're not going to lose, but the expectation level is I prepared, I put in the energy, I put in the effort, I'm ready to go, and I see myself, visualizing myself as a successful person and getting it done. Yeah. So I think the coach can do that. I think the quarterback can do it. And when you get people moving in synergy and tandem, it's infectious.
Yeah, I obviously didn't play football, and Anthony will get to you in 1 sec, but my sophomore year of college, I don't think I've ever told this story, but I played for Jim O'Brien, who coached at Ohio State, who was,
Go Bucks,
in my opinion, 5,000 times smarter than any other D3 coach in the country. Like, that's the reason we won some games. We played the number one team in the country my sophomore year. They were on a 29-game win streak, and this is how we knew we could beat them. All week we practiced against this one out-of-bounds play from underneath the basket they had. They scored every time on it. And he told an Ed Reed, he told our center, he's like, you take one false step this way, do a little banana cut, and you're going to get a steal. We're going to go down and get a fast break dunk. And we're like, why would you take a false step? They're going to pass. He's like, just trust me. He's going to see it like this. He's going to make that pass. Hurley, who was our center, is going to turn around. He's going to steal with his left hand. He's going to throw it up to Thorpe. Thorpe's going to dunk it. Third play of the game. Guess what happens? They get it out of bounds.
Yep.
He's like, we're ready. He's like, this is going to happen. He's like, trust me. This is going to happen. Hurley takes a step. Their point guard inbounding. Thinks he's got the little bounce pass for the slip. Throws it. Hurley turns around, catches with his left hand. OB called which hand he was going to catch it with. Scoops it up to Thorpe. Thorpe dunks it. We're up 6-0. We end up beating the number one team in the country. When coaches know their shit don't stank,
yeah,
and they know what the hell they're talking about,
telling you.
It oozes off. And I know that's basketball, not football, but it's the same way.
Works.
And we ended up winning that game.
It ain't nothing
Anthony,
better
you got to
than
read
that.
before our next topic. What's up?
Yeah, so we wanted to go out and ask the YouTube chat if they thought we had a championship caliber team, and whenever we do that, it's brought to you by PCC Airfoils. Looking for a job with career advancement and great benefits? PCC Airfoils is a leading manufacturer in Northeast Ohio. And all locations of PCC Airfoils in Eastlake, Menor, Wickliffe, and Minerva are hiring for all positions starting at $18 an hour and up. Plus, get a full-time benefit package.
Packages.
Paid time off and signing bonus. Apply online at freecast.com/careers to learn more. I really got to take the headphones off when I do those ad reads. But we have a super chat, too, from Professor Chaos. He thinks if Deshaun comes back and plays as a top 5 QB this year, NFL should give him the Comeback Player of the Year award.
Agreed.
I agree.
Agreed.
Oh, you know he ain't getting that, right?
Yeah, I mean,
He's not getting it, but
Professor
we agree.
Chaos is right.
Yeah,
It ain't going to happen, but he's right. He's
You know
right.
he ain't getting that, right?
And
I
then,
just let y'all
do
know.
the Cleveland Browns have a championship caliber roster? 81% of us are drinking the Kool-Aid.
I don't
You say
even,
yes.
I don't even think it's drinking the Kool-Aid. I just think it's the reality. Top to bottom, their roster is really Tommy Tyvis over here.
Yeah, I'm sorry, because he really not getting this. There's no way.
Yeah, you're right.
He getting any award.
They're not giving him no awards ever. Like, bro, he could throw for 7,000 next year. They're gonna be like, you got to do it 3 years in a row. Like, that goalpost is gonna be moving like the island in Lost. The island is in Jamaica. I thought the island was by Australia. That island been moving all season.
Did Ben Roethlisberger ever get anything like
No.
It's over with.
Once you get alleged of doing anything like that, you have to be otherworldly, othergodly to.
You gotta be Kobe.
Yeah.
You just have to be like the top 5 greatest of all time before they give you something. And he didn't get no MVP after that.
Yeah,
Did he?
His awards is done.
He won MVP in what? 08, 09? Yeah, so that was after that.
His best bet is to get a Super Bowl MVP.
Super Bowl
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Pro Bowl. Yeah.
Yep. We're going to move to our next topic, and this one we're glad to have Tyvis in for because he is our resident NFL special teams. And we actually learned G. Bush played kickoff too.
Yes.
In high school yesterday when his teammate was on Antonio Hall.
That was
so, G,
scary.
this may have affected you too, but the NFL passed a new rule, and the owners approved this, and we can take the tag board from me and Rapport whenever you're ready, that essentially will negate kickoffs for eternity in the NFL. Instead of having to either have a touchback or a return, now teams can fair catch a kickoff, and it automatically gets placed at the 25-yard line. Some numbers for you. Only 6 out of over 1,000 kicks last year, kickoffs, were returned for a touchdown. It was less than 1%. Only 3 punt return touchdowns in the whole league. That was 0.3%. 61% of kicks in the NFL went for touchbacks last year. That was before this rule. It's expected to be between 80 and 85% now. Essentially eliminating kickoffs. Tyvis is someone who played on special teams at the highest level in the NFL. Just before we get into what this means for Jakeem Grant and the Browns roster, what's your take on the rule change? And it doesn't sound like you're a fan of this whatsoever.
I'm not, because it's people that make their living on being, gunners and being those guys on kickoff that goes down there and make those plays. I think you are kind of eliminating them, so now their chances of making the team, now they have to be gunners on punt, or they got to find a way to get it done on punt return. That seems like to be where the return game may still have some effect at. But as far as kickoff and kickoff return, not only are you taking the jobs away or the importance of those guys, maybe that 6th corner or that 7th wide receiver that's on the bubble of making it, but he's a really good special teams player, it won't hold weight anymore because there's no special teams anymore. A whole phase of special teams is gone. Kickoff and kickoff return will be no longer there, so there's no need of having that anymore. So now that guy may get cut because he won't have the opportunity to make those plays.
And before G gets into that, in that Rappaport tweet, he specified that special teams coordinators were like, no, do not do this. Unfortunately, NFL owners vote on these rules, not coordinators. So as to your point, Tyvis, Bubba Ventrone and all the special teams coordinators in the NFL were like, this is what I do.
I get the make it safer, but like I say, the XFL I think did a great job of doing it. I mean, they line each other up 5 to 10 yards off on the kickoff, and you got to make somebody miss, or you got to beat your block or get on your block, and the returner's right there. It eliminates those high collisions because it's only a 5-yard thing. So if that is still exciting. I think kickoff is the opening kickoff to me is still one of the most exciting things because it can change the dynamic of a game. You go that returner takes it to the house. The crowd is going crazy. Or if somebody comes down on the kickoff and makes a big hit, boom, to start the game off, the crowd goes wild. The defense feeds off of it. You're taking that away now, so now there's no energy that's going to be given off of special teams.
Man, it's a wrap. Y'all might want to work on y'all game, bro. Hey, if you a corner, it ain't good enough for to be like I'm a gunner. I'm gonna run down there and hustle. No, you better work on your back pedal. You better work on your ball skills, receivers. Hey, look, ain't no such thing as I'm just fast and I could just get these punts and go to the house, or I'm gonna play on special teams. That's out of here. Now this changed the whole dynamic a little bit. Somebody said in the chat, all right then, Jakeem Grant, we'll holler at you back. Hallelujah, holler back. The guy like guys like Schwartz. If you're a one-trick pony and you're a special teams guy, this changes a lot of how you moving. They're not gonna guarantee you certain type of money to be back there just to fair catch kicks to be at the 25. So, to me, I like the way the XFL does it a little better. I like the fact that they're 5 yards apart, no running starts, and you still have the ability to kind of move and get to the crib if you creative and can do some things. But they've effectively you know, the wedge busters they got rid of. You know, they got all the wedge. They got rid of all of that stuff. Pretty soon, I think in about 5 years, they're just gonna say we just gonna take it, right?
25 yards.
Or they look at when you punting, they could just say, all right, well listen, we can give you an opportunity. They're gonna kick the ball. It's gonna fall wherever it lands. You get the ball right there.
That's terrible.
Yeah, I mean,
that's terrible.
Like think of Devin Hester.
That's what I'm saying.
He's one of my favorite players ever
That's
because
terrible.
he didn't get the ball very often as a return. He played a little receiver, but I mean, essentially he was just
A returner.
A returner.
Josh Cribbs.
Josh Cribbs. Dante Hall. I mean, he was more of a punt returner than a kick
Dante
returner.
Hall was
but
dope,
like
too.
some of the
was a
most
highlight.
exciting players in the history of the NFL have been return specialists. They may not be elite catching the ball. They may not be able to cover people like glue like Tyvis did. They're not big enough to play defensive line like UG. They're little dudes, usually track speed, shifty as hell, and they made dudes miss in ways that very few guys can do in the normal confines of a football field where there's 11 people on defense, 11 people on offense with 5 offensive line. You know what I'm saying? Like in the normal confines. And it just, I get the safety reasons. I think kickoffs were the number one concussion play, or number one highest percentage of concussion plays, because you got 270-pound dudes running full speed for 40 yards, hitting other 270-pound dudes, and that's obviously dangerous. So I get it, but I hate this so damn much. Like I
said, if that was the case, if that was what it really was, then why not adapt the XFL rule? I mean, I think that
and do we have that tag board? Do you have the XFL
it perfectly doesn't eliminate something.
Didn't find one, sorry.
It doesn't eliminate the most exciting play of a game, or one of the most exciting plays. It still gives the returner chances to, find a lane and hit it and make a return. I don't even know if the XFL even have a bunch of kick returns anyway, so it's very effective. I
think they
I don't like that. I hate it.
I compare it to basketball. Like, back in the day, there was defensive players counted, right?
Yeah.
Like because you could hand check if you were very strong, and you were able to keep guys in the post. You were able to hand check. There was a lot of guys that were very dominant because on the defensive end because they were allowed doing that. When they took that away, it went one way real quick, and you can't guard these dudes now.
And you mentioned Jakeem Grant. Like, this rule affects him more than it affects anyone else on the Browns roster, maybe anyone else in the NFL. He's a guy who didn't play last year coming off a torn Achilles. A guy who was brought here to be their return specialist. And y'all correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Since Josh Cribbs, the Browns have been very average to mediocre in the return game. Donovan Peoples-Jones had that punt return this year.
Yeah.
That was their first punt return since, I believe, 2013. Punt return touchdown.
With Travis Benjamin.
I guess Travis Benjamin. But, like, for the most part, he was brought in here to rejuvenate a return game that they hadn't had. And now he's competing with David Bell and Anthony Schwartz and Mike Harley for that last receiver spot. Look at his numbers. He's got 6 career return touchdowns. He has 7 career receiving touchdowns. Like, where's his value as a straight-up receiver if he's only going to get a chance to return 10 to 15 kicks
all year?
And Jerome Ford proved last year he's pretty damn serviceable in that role too. So, like,
he's very expendable.
Bye-bye. I can't foresee
getting to the point where
a scenario where he's...
Unless he come out in the preseason and just show that he was a dog at wide receiver, because the speedy wide receiver is always used for that. If he don't do that in the preseason,
bye-bye.
It's over with. It's unfortunate to say.
Yeah.
That's Anthony Schwartz. Like
Anthony Schwartz. This is the thing about Anthony Schwartz. For him, if he's not gonna be a good wide receiver, he could be at least a good gunner. Like, come on, man, go to punt and Anthony, be a gunner on punt. Go to the punt. Go to Bubba Ventrone and tell him that I want to be a gunner. With that track speed, all you got to do is hit the sideline. They can't touch you. Come back in, make plays.
I am telling you, I'm telling y'all right now. I don't know why I got this feeling.
No, I agree with you. I actually agree with this.
You think you'll have a year?
If Anthony Schwartz catches 2, he make any sort of plays, any sort. Like, he catch a long ball.
3rd round pick, right?
Yeah, he a 3rd round. They're not cutting him.
But, Tyvis, it's going to come down, no joke. It could come down to Jakeem Grant, David Bell, and Anthony Schwartz for that last receiver spot. Legitimately. Like, this is a realistic possible scenario.
So you say David Bell, Anthony Schwartz, Jakeem Grant, and Mike Harley.
So you got Jakeem Grant, who you signed, who now his return value is gone. Do you want this? You got 2 third-round picks in Bell and Anthony Schwartz. Bell,
if that was the 4,
I think that's the 4 that's going to come down to the last receiver spot.
I would think that the nod may go to Jakeem Grant, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Over Bell.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because if Nick Chubb gets dinged up, Jerome Ford ain't returning nothing.
Fair.
What you mean? I think they'll put Jerome Ford back there. That's why you could keep an extra receiver.
I'm saying.
No, he's saying
if Nick Chubb went down, Jerome Ford would be the starting running back.
Yeah, he's not going to return kicks if you're
okay, so well, here's the thing. Here's what I think they would do. I think that you could steal a roster spot. You could put Donovan Peoples-Jones back there. Like, just a fair catch.
You put Felton back. I mean, you put anyone back there just a fair catch.
Or if you kept Demetric Felton. So if I kept...
Whatever. He was supposed to be like a really good returner. What's going on with him?
The return game is done. If you asking me, I'm going to keep DPJ. I'm going to keep Ford. They're going to be in my rotation anyway. Now that I can get rid of Jakeem Grant because they're not going to be returning kicks anyway, I can keep another receiver. I can keep one of the guys that I wanted to keep, right? You can actually sneak a dude on a deep position because I think you're going to mess around and keep 9 linemen. 9 offensive linemen. You're going to keep 9 or 10 D linemen. It's going to be ugly.
And what's up?
Yeah. I have your tweet, Mike, if you want to take a look at it, see if we can take tag board full.
This is the XFL kickoff? Yeah, these are the XFL kickoff returns. They stay 5 yards off until the returner gets it, and then it's a free-for-all. And this dropped injury rates tremendously, but still kept the excitement of a kick return in the play.
He's going to the house, too.
Yeah, I would not be against
Is that Cordell Patterson?
It is not Cordell Patterson. But shout out to the Battlehawks. They got robbed of a playoff spot, but it is what it is. But I prefer that over traditional kickoffs, especially if we're going to eliminate 95% of them. Anthony, we got to read before our next topic?
Yeah, before we get to our next topic, though, I just want to remind everybody that you can get USFL seats for just $10. They come with free T-shirts, rally towels. Go celebrate pro football. You can check it out at usfl.com. Thanks to the USFL for sponsoring the show. And then, Mike, OTAs have officially started. It's almost football season.
Football is in the air, my friend, and our first glimpse at the 2023 Cleveland Browns is officially here. And I'm gonna pull a G. Bush for y'all real quick.
Go ahead.
I'm going to pull a G. Bush. I thought about this long and hard last night when we were coming up with topics and figuring out what to talk about. And G. Bush, you know what? You got me. You got me. I'm not going to lie. I'm up here with Tyvis, who has some of the most absurd takes I've ever heard in the history of basketball. I'm here with G. Bush, the originator of the Duke of Knee Jerk.
Yes.
So I'm going to preface this by saying one thing. No one has ever looked bad in shorts in training camp in a video the team tweets out itself. The team's not going to tweet out a video of people looking bad. However, the Guardians are killing me. And I hate talking about the Guardians. I can't get excited about what the Guardians are doing right now. The Cavs are in total disarray. I got eviscerated on Twitter this weekend for a potential Jared Allen trade that was a complete hypothetical, but people like to take things seriously. So guess what? Let me get damn excited about seeing Deshaun Watson throw dimes to Elijah Moore and Cedric Tillman. Play the damn video, Steve. Let's see the tag boards. Yeah, 4 to 8 on target. We've been asking for this all off season. Look at the mechanics. Look at the catch. He turns upfield, Tyvis. That is what an elite receiver, an elite quarterback connection is supposed to look like. Next video. Let me keep going. Elijah Moore, you see 2 hands? Look, I can do it with 1 hand, like Waka Flocka. The 1-hand catch from Elijah Moore in shorts. Was there a cornerback on him? I don't care. This is what I want to see 114 times in 2023. Next video, Steve. Cedric Tillman. This is Mike Harley. Deep ball, perfection. Let me get 53 of these all season when Deshaun Watson throws for 72 touchdowns. And last but not least, 3rd-round pick, Cedric Tillman. You see this jump ball, Tyvis? I don't care if you're out here guarding him. Cedric Tillman's about to cook. Yes, he's in shorts. Yes, there's no pads. Yes, this doesn't matter. And yes, I am absolutely hyped to see the Browns doing some football activities because there's nothing else in the Cleveland sports scene right now to be excited about. I'm done. Y'all go.
That was
Thank you.
That was tremendous.
Thank
you.
What's up,
Mr. McNuggets?
I'm not getting hyped off of no video. I need to see it happen, but
you just saw it happen. You literally with your own eyes just saw it happen.
No. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking. I am not one that likes to watch things with no equipment on. This game. Unless, if this was 7-on-7, I'd be all on.
Listen, I prefaced it with saying, I know where these clips came from. I know what they're trying to do. I'm not going to let that ruin my damn excitement.
I'm not going off of that right now.
You don't got to talk 5 days for 2 hours, okay? Like, I got to talk Guardians every day. Oh, the Guardians offense. Cavs, what are you going to do?
It looked good, though.
I finally got something to be excited about. Let me rock.
The first throw
was good.
It was really good because you could tell that they got the chemistry. You could tell that those guys have been working together.
Yeah.
He understands the timing of it. You know, before Elijah Moore is even out of his chemistry is there. All those off-season trips to Puerto Rico or wherever the heck they going, it shows that it's working out. Now I need to see it with pads on, and I need to see it when some DBs is on him. If those plays are still being made, then I can be excited for it. But right now, I'm not being excited for routes on air.
Man, come on, man. Let me get my picture together. So y'all can be cool.
I can't believe you over here drawing this right now. When he flipped this around,
I'm scared to see what this is.
It's gonna be a shame.
I'm scared to see
Am I going to lose my job as graphic designer of the show?
Yes. Yes.
I tell you what, it's a nice doodle. It's a nice doodle for him to be just freehanding it like this.
I will say though, to Tyvis's point, and yeah, I know I'm a little overexcited, but that first throw to Elijah Moore was a dime.
Yeah, it was.
Like that, obviously it's no defense, no nothing, but
Here you
that
go.
first throw was a
I
dime.
don't think
G-Bush,
it's
what
an
you got?
fool.
That's how I do it. You know what it is.
You spelled Kool-Aid wrong. There's no
I got the E in there. Kool-Aid, that's what I'm talking about. Listen, ready to go. The Kool-Aid is back. Ready to go, G Bush. Hey, the Duke of Knee Jerk. Hey, listen, I was sitting here at the house. I was sitting at the crib. And it was a thing that came up.
What color is that? Just out of curiosity.
It's brown.
Red.
Red. It's the brown school. How's it red?
Red. No, he said right. Red.
It's red Kool-Aid. I was at the crib and I saw it hit. They said the Cleveland Browns OTAs. All of a sudden, my knees started shaking like this. I said, "Hold on, is that Deshaun Watson out there throwing the ball to Elijah Moore?" I saw him. Oh, look, is this
The knees.
my knees.
The knees are rocking.
Oh, my knees. Oh, I seen Tillman get the right. Oh, look at the big receiver. Pause. Look at this huge receiver out there. Oh, come on, bro. You know you got it. As soon as you saw them orange jerseys, as soon as you seen the helmets, you had grandeur thoughts, delusion like I did. You saw Deshaun Watson throwing for those 40. Look at that.
Throw it again.
Look at that.
What
Look
hand?
at that
Who needs
speed
two
cut.
hands? Who?
Look at that
Not
speed
him.
cut.
Not him.
Dimes.
Elijah
a little
Moore.
behind him. It's okay. Move out the way. Back shoulder. Let me
must
get
not be
that.
used to the
2-tap.
speed.
Bang. Let me see what they're talking about. Put the gravy
Is
on
this
them.
on air?
It's on air.
I don't care.
What you mean you don't care?
I'm cool. I don't care.
can throw that on there.
Hey, it don't matter. Look at him. Look at that
That
pirouette.
ain't
That's
on
on
there.
you. That's on you.
That is what we call a pirouette punch. That is a pirouette. Look. Look
I
at this
can't
dime.
believe this.
Yo,
That's a dime right
Can I be
there.
honest, Tyvis? Is there a more pretty sight in sports on social media than like a slow motion spiral?
Easy
No,
money.
that
Like
is.
it's
That'd
almost
be nice.
romantic. Like when you see a slow
Did
motion.
you remember the
deep
Tua one, the Tyreek Hill? He underthrew it last year. It was
Yeah.
terrible.
but
they
it's still
ended-
pretty.
It was nice.
Like Hard Knocks starts every season of Hard Knocks. They show the deep ball in slow motion
Oh, man.
as Leaf Schreiber. Is that the guy who narrates?
Yeah.
Hard Knocks goes like that. That's just romantic. man.
And here's the thing, and here's what I gotta tell y'all, man. A lot
Did
of
you like
people,
my Kool-Aid, by the way? You feel that?
Yeah, I
I
like
can't
that.
believe
I like
y'all. Y'all, for you,
Tyvis.
I keep especially for you.
Tyvis, come on, man. You gotta understand. You done played the game. You understand what this is, bro. Like, see, you guys at home, sometimes y'all are getting excited and y'all want to start doing stuff around when August, 2 days. Come talk to me about August. See, players who play the game, they don't live by that. When you play, it's in you. It just turn on. You be like, oh, listen, I feel like I'm supposed to have pads on. Oh, there's OTAs, the conditioning. Every year at this time, I get sick to my stomach because I'm thinking I got to go do a running test. Yeah. I still got it. It's traumatic. You be like, am I in shape or no?
Them days is over.
Them days is over. But here's the thing. This is part of the game. Like
Yeah.
y'all cats,
Thank you.
y'all cats is. Why would you only want to do this? Just get me to the games. Football is not no just get me to the games. It's a lifestyle. It's a way you live. It's the cleats. It's the practice. It's the 7-on-7s. It's putting in installs and plays and playbooks. What are y'all talking about?
But before you go, Tyvis, hey, can we put a poll on the YouTube chat to see who thinks Tyvis being a salty spittoon? Like, why is he so negative, Nancy?
How am I
He
being
came in with a big smile
How
on
am I
his face.
negative?
Why you salty, bro?
Listen, I'm not salty in any way, and I'm not being negative. We literally do this every year.
That's the
Yeah,
point.
that's the
of it.
point.
We do this, and what happens?
It's my first year.
I'm ready to
It's my first year in
Listen,
Browns camp.
I'm not I'm not going off of nothing that I see in this. I
So
need to
watch
see
this.
it on September.
So watch this.
That's me.
So watch this. See Tyvis, I'm gonna just put it out there. See, bad job out of y'all. I don't want to hear nobody sitting here. We do this every single year. We take our nondescript children who have no skill sets at this point, and we take pictures with them every first day of school. My baby going into first grade. You give her a new outfit and some new kicks. Your son got a new shirt, and you do this every year. He in third grade. What's the difference between second and third grade? Nothing. He don't got no skill set. You don't even know what he want to do with his life. He just going to school, and you still be emotional, dropping your kid off in the fourth grade. Look at my baby and what they about to do. This is such a beautiful thing. Hashtag dad. Boy, if you don't get up out of here with these kids, and you gonna tell me that you got a problem with me watching the Browns and getting excited about them throwing the ball 7-on-7 and we do this every year, G. Bush. Well, you do the same thing every year.
We got to build 10 hours of content a week, and there's a lot of stuff that we got to talk about every day because it's happening. That's just not exciting.
Well,
so when I get someone excited to talk about, I want to be excited.
Well, I live in the real world, okay, and I'm a man about results, okay? That's me. I'm not going off of no hype. I need to see it, and I ain't seen it yet. What I seen was 7-10 last year, and we was just as gassed up about that season. So I need to see it be put together. I need to see them against Cincinnati in September. When I see that, then I'll change my mind. But right now, I'm not being excited for nothing.
They be at Big Douglas, they be acting like we all, when we get married, we got to go through anniversaries every doggone year. Now, you telling me year 5 of the marriage was as good as year 1? No, it's not. Everybody knows year 5 ain't it.
It's better.
And we still got to go through
It's
the motions.
better.
I'm still.
Are you in year 5?
No, I'll be on year 3 this year.
There we go.
You can't say year 5.
Well,
man.
you call me in year 5.
We'll wait for the results.
Call me in year 5. These guys out here be out here capping.
Let me put my hat back on.
Listen,
y'all wasn't y'all was good when I wasn't like
at
this.
That's actually perfect because I do have poll results.
Results.
Yeah, give me some results, bro.
So we asked, is Tyvis, I had a boohoo pal, being a little bit of a negative Nancy here.
Oh, my God.
42% of people say yes, 27 say no, and then 31 told you to put the hat back on, so you knew already.
Now, listen. In reality,
Morpheus.
Tyvis is 50% right.
50?
50% right. And I'm going to say 50%
and it's hard to
Because, yes, are the Browns winning the Super Bowl today because they threw a couple awesome passes in 7-on-7 with no pads and no defense yesterday? No, they're not winning the Super Bowl. But you're wrong 50% because guess what? I can still be excited about it.
Yeah.
You can be excited all
I
year.
am,
There's nothing wrong with being excited for the season. I'm excited for the season.
I'm glad you put that on the record.
But I want to see some results.
We all do, of course.
I'm not going to get geeked up off no
So
video.
let me ask you this, because this is a good caveat. And the Browns would never do this. This would never happen. But if they put a pass of Deshaun Watson throwing an interception yesterday, or like Amari Cooper dropping a pass to hit him right in the hands, would you be like, uh-oh?
No.
Okay, at least you're consistent.
No.
At least you're consistent.
I hate that too.
At least you're consistent.
People be saying that. It was like a time like maybe 3 years ago. I think it was the year that they went to the Super Bowl. Jimmy Garoppolo threw 6 picks in the first practice. And everybody was like, "Oh my God, he's terrible." And they go to the Super Bowl.
At
So
least
it's
you're
like,
consistent.
Hey man, here's the thing. The great thing about sports is this. It is the process. It is the things that happen besides the games. Yes, the games super count. Yes, they do. But you know better than anybody. To people out there that's right there playing, tell them borderline guys we just talked about, like Bell and Schwartz and Jakeem Grant. Tell them this don't count. Because they out there busting their tails. They out there putting everything. They out there trying to get reps, trying to get better. And by the way, this is the time and the place where you find guys that can help your team. Yeah. Everybody ain't a first-round pick. The guys need time to show and develop and do what they can do and show up and be like, hey, I'm a guy that's going to count. So when we be sitting here saying that they don't count, yes, in the scheme of things, they don't count. But at the end of the day, that's what makes sports great. Yeah. The practices, that's why we love it. Other than that, it'd be meetings and work.
Yeah.
Like, this is why we like this. Like the stuff. Embrace it. Don't wait into the games and then be like, oh, well, they lost the game. That's why we be so mad as hell after the games, because we don't pay attention to nothing except the game.
And we only get 17
And we
games.
get 17
Plus a
of them.
playoff game, too, hopefully 3 or 4 playoff games.
I'm talking about from a fan's perspective.
No,
I'm a fan, too.
As a player's perspective, the games is. I mean, the practices is the game.
Yeah. Right.
Like, for me, when I went to practice, it was a game because I was fighting for my life. I wasn't the luxury of a first or second round pick. I was an undrafted guy, and I had no choice. So it was a game to me. As a player, absolutely, they need to be going all out. But as a fan, no, I need to see some results.
And that's totally fair. And let's be honest. Like, we knew Cedric Tillman could catch a football.
Right.
We knew Elijah Moore's fast and shifty. We know Deshaun Watson can throw a great deep ball. But I just like seeing it. I'm a visual learner. So I like, and Tony Martinez came in and helped us put this show together. One thing he said, and I remember this because he had a stat for it, 75% retention rate. The retention rate of viewers is 75% higher when they see the same thing you're talking about.
Yep.
So when we talk about Deshaun Watson throwing deep balls and you see Deshaun Watson throwing deep balls,
I think if I
bada bing, bada boom.
I think if I sat here and talked about a corner's play and without showing no clips, they still understand what I'm saying.
But they'd remember it more if they could visually see it. That's his point. No, I'm serious. That's his point. It's not that they won't remember. It's just people in general have a much easier, especially with numbers like stats and stuff. That's why we show so many stat graphics. When y'all are talking about numbers, to hear it and see it together is the perfect viewer experience. Anthony, what's up before we move on to our next topic?
Yeah, so before we move on to our next topic, guys, it's noon. So I want to remind you guys that the 12 o'clock lunch hour is brought to you by Colleague Companies Championship. You can go see your favorite golf legends play in the Colleague Companies Championship July 12th through July 16th at the famous Firestone Country Club. Fun, family-friendly events all week long featuring a new fan zone experience, free attendance for kids, and concerts every night. There's something for everyone. You can learn more at colleaguegolf.com. And also, this next topic is brought to you by Lorain County Community College.
Nice.
Lorain County Community College. You can sign up for your future right now. Register now for summer and fall classes. You can learn more at loraineccc.edu.
To Anthony's struggles there, it is really hard to do ad reads with the headphones on because you're on a half-second delay, so you hear yourself speaking.
I'm trying my
half
best.
behind. Yeah, you get used to it, but you're doing good, Anthony. All right, next topic. We did some hypothetical Cavs trades last week, and one of them caught fire, and we did over 1 million impressions on Twitter with it.
Wow.
And most people didn't like it, so that was awesome. But
Wait, what happened?
we did some
Somebody challenged me to do a dumber trade, and I feel like I can make it dumber.
Oh, we'll show you the clip after. Anthony and Earl came up with some of the with two. Well, there's a whole. We'll get into it later. We don't have to get back into it. Watch Friday's show. It was maybe one of the funniest things we've ever done. I cried in your chair. I cried on Friday. Seriously, I literally had tears. Like,
Did you come up with the trade or they came up with the
I came up with 4. G had 1. Anthony had 1, and Earl had 1.
And the one they came up with did $1 million?
Yeah.
No, one of the ones I had. One of the ones I did.
Brag about it.
No, well, people didn't like it.
Talk your stuff.
People didn't like it. Like, I'm not bragging. People didn't like the
What was the
Mavs
trade?
one. It was first. Real quick. We'll just say this before we get on. The segment was, if you're going to trade Jared Allen, what kind of packages could you get back for him? So I was looking at, I don't think you're going to get a star young wing back for Jared Allen. His trade value right now is at an all-time low. So I was looking to the Mavs, and I think it was Jared Allen and Dean Wade for Maxi Kleba, Reggie Bullock, and JaVale McGee. So you get 2 shooters and a backup big for essentially Jared Allen. The salaries matched up, and Mavs fans were like, sign me up, I do that ASAP. And every Mavs blog in the history of the world found it, retweeted it, and they were like, a Cleveland site is actually suggesting this, which we never suggested. We were just looking at options.
Yeah. But we like it because
I still think it makes sense.
I do too. I like it.
In hindsight, they'd have to throw us a pick, but I still think it works. All right. So today's hypothetical trade. Earl,
I
what's
think
up?
Earl has something to say.
Earl.
Tyvis, all you need to know is I got us Jalen Green and Kevin Porter Jr. back. That's all you need to know.
That's actually
That-
good.
that-
That's really good.
No,
for
bro.
Jared Allen?
Do you just?
That's
we'll
good.
It was
show
a
you-
3-team trade.
it was
We'll
a
show you
three-
later.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
The Rockets gave up everybody for JaVale McGee, essentially. The Rockets. You know
There's
what?
no way that's happening.
You'll see. All right, so today's trade. Let me preface this before anyone clips it. This has not been offered. This is not necessarily realistic. This is completely hypothetical, but we are a sports show. We like to have fun. So guess what? we are going to talk about it, okay?
And Jason Lloyd told us was coming out playing.
No, Jason did not stop. Jason did not say that. Do not put Jason's name on that. This is completely hypothetical. We're going to do it just to have a little bit of fun here. It has picked up some traction on NBA Twitter.
All right.
The Celtics did win last night to save their season.
Okay.
They are now down 3-1 to the Heat, but Jaylen Brown is due for a Supermax contract after making the All-NBA second team this year. He is ready to sign a 5-year, $293 million deal.
Sheesh.
And there's a little bit of friction between him and Jayson Tatum. Tatum's looked at as the alpha dog in Boston, but Jaylen Brown views himself as the alpha dog. So there's a little bit of friction there. So in the hypothetical world that Boston decides to break up their big two, hypothetical, once again, we are not suggesting this. We are not saying it's been asked. We are just simply posing the question. Would you trade Donovan Mitchell for Jaylen Brown straight up, excuse me?
You know, it's funny. A week ago, you asked me this question. We talked about it, and I said, sign me up for that today.
Yeah.
But as of lately, the way he's been playing, I'm not so sure anymore. Now, don't get me wrong. The one thing I like about Jaylen Brown is he's a two-way guy. He's an alpha dog. You know, he comes into the Cavs, and, you know, he'll be able to take the ball out of Darius Garland's hands at times. He'll be able to get you some points. He's been to the championship, so he got championship experience. It's a lot of good things, but when it's time to get a bucket or you need a big three, I'd rather give it to Donovan Mitchell. Now, the thing is this. You would have him locked up for 5 years or whatever. That's big right there. With Donovan Mitchell, we don't know what. We all know he loves New York. He wanted to be in New York. He thought he was going to New York. With his contract coming up in the next couple of years, you know, if this is an opportunity to look towards the future and build something, then I would not be opposed to them doing it because he is a great two-way player.
G?
Yeah, I mean, this is, and the reason you do it is because you take a look at, you know, let's look at the length. Your team is going to be better defensively. You have a true three. You got a guy that can hit threes. You got a guy that can play defense. You got a guy that's going to be longer, and you know, you're not giving up much athletically. You now can put the ball back in Darius Garland's hand where he can run pick and roll. He can have the ball most of the time. And you can go out and you do things. Also, you take a look at the next step involved with that. Now you look at truly, if you made that move, you might not even really have to move off Jared Allen unless you got something that was tremendous. You know why? Because now you look at Jared Allen, you can say, okay, well, we can now move him to see if we get another guy that is going to make us better as far as three-point shooting. That's a move that you can make. But if you look at the team, you can either bring Jared Allen off the bench and keep him, and look for another guy to start that lineup. You get longer, you get better, you're under contract. I just think that is a better team for the Cavs in terms of what they look like in the East.
Yeah, I'll make the case for why they should and why they shouldn't. I don't think Boston would make that trade. I don't think Boston will. But if I'm the Cavs and that offer is on the table, I think you have to do it. Now, if you're asking me to rank who's a better player, Mitchell or Jaylen Brown, based on like 2K ratings, I do think Donovan Mitchell is a better player than Jaylen Brown. However, as Tyvis alluded to, there is some contractual uncertainty with Jaylen Brown. Listen, schoolboy T.Y. flipped his hat up. That means you know he means business for this next subject. That means you know we're talking LeBron in a little bit. He's getting his ears ready, the perks, and the satellites are starting to take in all the energy to channel into this LBJ
This my Kung Lao look, man. Raiding off of Mortal Kombat. Kung Lao.
It's actually a good look. I'm not gonna. I think it's kind of fly. But with the contractual uncertainty of Donovan Mitchell, the age of Evan Mobley and his current progression, to take a guy out in Donovan Mitchell who, for better or worse, has 2 years on his contract, and switch him for a guy in Jaylen Brown who would have 5 years on his contract, puts you in a championship window for the Cavs that could be 5, 6, 7 years now, as opposed to you're kind of in win mode now, right now.
Well,
and if you have Jaylen Brown, that gives you a guard in Garland, a wing in Jaylen Brown, and a big in Evan Mobley as your big three, as opposed to two little guards with Mitchell and Garland. So I think stylistically, it fits a little better with what the Cavs are doing. Contractually, it extends their championship window a few years. And I think Brown and Mitchell are pretty similar in terms of their overall ranks. I would put Mitchell a little above Jaylen Brown. He's been bad in this round of the playoffs. Like, he has not been good in this series. But for the Cavs, if this was on the table, I think they'd have to pull the trigger.
Well, they're not going to do that.
I mean, it's not going to happen.
Because they in the same division, so they're not. But
if you're Boston, would you break them up, Tatum and Brown?
Depending on what the return is.
But I'm just saying, like
if I could get Donovan Mitchell for 2 years, does that make them better? Yeah, because I mean, I think that Donovan would have to realize that Jayson Tatum is better. And I'm the Robin, and I think that's where he would thrive at. I don't know if Donovan Mitchell is the number one. I think he's an unbelievable number two, though. And I think with the Cavs and with Utah, he's always been the number one. I think he needs to get the ball out of his hand and try to work that off ball, because I think if the best guy is not guarding him, he can take advantage of that. And I think you're right. If Jaylen Brown comes here, Darius Garland keeps the ball in his hand, which he thrives at. And
he gets better.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think that would make both parties win. However, there's no way. I mean, Kobe Altman pulled it off once with the Kyrie thing, but I don't think that's happening ever again.
I'm gonna keep it real. They both better make a deal. I just keep telling people the NBA is different. Like, y'all better stop. Like, everybody feel like they got a window in an area that you can just maneuver in. I let you know. The Oklahoma City Thunder had KD, Harden, and Russ.
And Serge Ibaka.
And Serge in their prime.
And they broke it up.
In their prime.
That was dumb.
And they never won a doggone thing.
Nope.
All this window 5 year, we got it open. Ain't no windows open like that, bro. That is a myth. That's the biggest myth in sports, created by people that are writers. At the end of the day, the writers, they got a window. That window stove. I've heard about this window for the Boston Celtics, and they've had so many iterations of this window, and they ain't won a doggone thing. Now you down 3-1 to an 8 seed. At the end of the day, here's 2-3 ways you get better. Is your coach head and shoulders above anybody else? If you ain't got a top-notch coach, a top 3 coach, you're not winning.
That's half the problem right now.
Do you got top-notch elite talent?
They do.
Like, they got top.
They do.
But guess what? Is it head and shoulders above somebody else?
They should.
On paper, it's head and shoulders above
the Heat. Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. So if you get beat by the Heat 3-1, how could you come back with the same roster and feel like
it's insanity?
Because next year you could get beat by Milwaukee. Next year you could get smoked by, like, it's not out of the realm of possibility that they lose to the Sixers or something. Like, they don't have head and shoulders, no Kevin Durant, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, Steph. They can sleepwalk and still beat you 4 straight. You ain't got enough talent like that, bro. So you got to make a move. What you doing?
Well, there's another Mitchell trade out there that was thrown on Twitter. And Anthony, you want to pull up that tag board? I'm curious what your guys' take is on this. It's from Ben Axelrod. He works upstairs. I think he was just messing around, and I know it's small, but theoretically speaking, would you trade Donovan Mitchell and Ricky Rubio for LeBron right now?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
No question.
Oh, I say no.
I say no, too.
I say no.
Man,
I say no.
Well, tell me why yes, then I'll tell you why I say
crazy.
no.
Like,
why yes?
I mean, you got a guy who's about to he ain't gonna play. He's gonna play about 50-ish games next year, so that's one. So you ain't gonna have him for 32 other games. That's one. Yes, he's gonna come play. He's gonna come playoff time. He's gonna do his thing. But another problem is now you're handicapping Darius Garland yet again because you're taking the ball out of his hands, so he won't thrive anyways.
Bro, listen.
So it's literally, you might as well keep Donovan Mitchell if you're going to do that.
No disrespect to Darius Garland. He is not Steph. See, this is why we beat this in Cleveland. We always overestimate. This is not Luka.
You're going to change your whole roster for a guy that's going to be here for 2 seasons.
Darius Garland is a nice player. If he was on Rockefeller Records,
he was the only one that showed up in the playoffs.
If he was on Rockefeller Records, this is Beanie Siegel.
Oh, he's a dog.
This is not Kanye West.
He's a dog.
Listen, like, come on, let's be clear. I'm just keeping it real. If you can get LeBron James to come back, by the way, the LeBron James that got a 40-point triple-double in a closeout game against a monsters Nuggets team, stop the games. If you can get LeBron to come back and do his thing, this team is now automatically going to the finals in the Eastern Conference. It is what it is. Now, here's your problem. You're not going to keep Donovan Mitchell anyway. Like, why won't anybody say this? Why will no one say this?
What?
As constituted, Donovan Mitchell is not resigning here. Kobe Altman has already said he's not making moves. Why is every basketball person tiptoeing around the fact that he has 1 year left and you're not going to do anything?
That's why I traded for Jaylen Brown.
But
not LeBron. No, not for somebody. See, Jaylen Brown, you got for 5 years. LeBron, you got for maybe 2.
We just saw LeBron, and we talked about it yesterday.
Really 1, because he'd be on the contract for 1, and he going where Bronny goes.
LeBron is still a top 10, 15 player in this league, and he's probably even a little higher. He's probably top 6, 7, 8, but he can't turn it on for 82 games and be your number 1 alpha dog for a whole season.
We don't need that.
But this Cavs team does need.
We do.
They do need that. Like, if it's not him, who is it?
No, so this is what we keep. If you, that's why when people be mentioning Darius Garland's name like that, I'm saying if he gonna be all of that and you gonna give him that level of respect, then he better be here for 82 games getting his money off. Why can't
Darius Garland?
Why Darius Garland can't be that dude?
He was for a whole season. Not this past season, the season before that.
So why can't he be here if LeBron was here?
Because LeBron's
going to take the ball out of his hands. And we're going to be right back to Donovan Mitchell versus Darius Garland.
Darius Garland will have the ball in his hands plenty. LeBron James is not going to play off the ball, on the ball like that dominant, that late in his career.
LeBron can't shoot anymore.
LeBron James literally just did a whole playoff series where he only had 1 game where he went for above 23 points. What are you talking about? He's literally just facilitating. He's a point guard.
I just saw him get 40 yesterday.
Out of 4 games, he had 1 game where he went over 23 points.
You gotta understand, bro. This is the thing. So here's the thing about the LeBron game, right? People be like, yo, he got to get Anthony Davis involved. He can't be taking all the shots. He get people involved and be a facilitator. Cool, if that's what you want to do. Anthony Davis, at this point in his career, is supposed to be far and by away the best player in the roster.
Yes,
the problem is he's not.
That's a fact.
And that's why they don't win. Now, can LeBron play that way for all those minutes? No, he can't. But where you can get LeBron, and why LeBron makes sense, is because Darius Garland can catch and shoot. Darius Garland will have the ball a lot. And if this unicorn that we talk about, Mobley, just comes into effect like we've just been waiting on all our lives, right? then he won't necessarily have to even be having that big of a load. My thing is this: if you look at where the Cavs are right now, they had Donovan Mitchell. They had all these young dudes in their prime. They got smoked by Jalen Brunson and the Knicks. I don't care nothing about that. You saw where LeBron was at, Western Conference Finals. Yep. You saw where the Cavs were, first round to the bum Knicks. At the end of the day, who's better, the Lakers or the Cavs?
The Lakers, not close. Not close.
Why would I argue? Why would I argue against that?
I'm still stuck on the fact that you're willing to trade Donovan Mitchell, a guy
not going to be here.
For a guy that the other one's not going to be here. The other one's not going to be here. He's going to be here for 1 year.
If you my thing is if you got Donovan Mitchell on this roster or LeBron James on this roster,
who's a better chance to win the title?
Who has a better chance of winning the title?
Probably LeBron.
That's the only I'm going.
But
I'm going with the Jaylen Brown. I'm not trading.
I'm with you.
I'm not taking. I'm not. If that's 1 year, what is that going to do?
If I could the Jaylen Brown trade, I take that.
Okay. Well, thank you.
That's my number
That's
one.
what I need. All right. That's what I needed to hear.
Right.
Thank you. Okay.
What's up, my friend?
Yeah, so I just want to remind everybody that you can see your favorite golf legends play in the Colleague Companies Championship July 12th through July 16th at the famous Firestone Country Club. Fun, family-friendly events all week long featuring a new fan zone, experience, free attendance for kids, and concerts every night. There's something for everyone, and you can learn more at colleaguegolf.com. Guys, we're going to keep the basketball going here with true and false. For probably one of my argument, the best player left other than Jokic.
Other than Jokic.
Jimmy Butler.
Okay,
we're doing true and false with Mr. Jimmy Buckets today. You guys can get your boards ready. Steve, you can get the music ready.
Did I win a true and false?
Did you win? I don't think so.
I don't think I've won.
Have you won one before?
But
No.
If Tyvis isn't here, it doesn't count anyway. So, Tyvis, I'm coming for your neck right now.
All right, that's fair. Tyvis, you ready? All right. Tyvis is ready. Steve, let's take the first one. Jimmy Butler was offered a full ride to Marquette University his junior year of high school.
That was definitely not the dramatic music. There we go.
I think that's what was throwing me off. We didn't have music.
Give me that.
I got a
Earl
false.
is keeping score, by the way.
Tyvis has a false.
Hold on.
Is G gonna make it a clean sweep?
You research?
No.
He's got Pokemon pulled up on. 3 falses.
All right, so we got 3 falses across the board. It is, in fact, false. He went and played at community college before going to Marquette.
Yes.
Junior, Tyler County Junior College. TCC, the Apaches.
Yep, you guys ready?
Let's do it.
Jimmy Butler has made the playoffs in 11 of his 12 career seasons.
Dang,
Man, that's false. That's LeBron James stats. But you would have to switch it to finals.
I honestly
I
don't
really
know.
don't know. I would say true.
I'm gonna say true. I'm gonna
Two
say
trues
true
and a
too.
false. It is true.
It is.
He has made it in 11 of
And
the
the
12
only
seasons.
year he missed.
Was last 2
I
years
feel like
ago?
he didn't go for the Bulls one year,
Nah,
and one year he didn't go for the
it was
Timberwolves.
with the Bulls. No, I think he made it with the Timberwolves.
Did they Timberwolves?
Yeah, they were the
made it?
4 seed. I don't think he made it with the Bulls.
I thought it was with the Heat.
According to my sources, it was originally 12 out of 13 seasons, but he hasn't played 13 seasons, so I knew it was off by at least 1.
We gotta check this. Somebody get stat guy.
Anyway.
I'm gonna get roll on it real quick. We'll double check that question. It might be null void.
So the answer was true though, at least to your knowledge for now.
For now, yes. It
Okay,
was
so me
a
and
true
Tyvis are
answer.
tied at 2 right now.
All right, guys, you ready for the third one?
Yes.
Jimmy Butler was born in Portland, Oregon.
I got false.
I can't see it. I got it.
Ty has false.
And G has false.
Isn't
we
it
got 3
Oakland?
All
falses.
right, we got
It's
3
Oakland,
falses
ain't it?
across the board. I guess I'm making this too easy for you guys. It's false.
He's born in Houston.
I don't know.
Tomball High School, baby.
I don't know no black people come from Portland.
I thought he was from Oakland.
I have confirmation from Earl that my research was correct. He made it 11 out of the 12.
What was the 1 year he missed?
1 second. He's looking at it. While he looks at that, we'll take the next one. Jimmy Butler is a huge country music fan and starred in a music video for Luke Bryan.
I have no idea. You know what?
I am working a country music concert. I may have made this up.
I don't know, bro. it seems like
I think I know this because I know a little bit of his background.
He had 3
Wow,
trues.
we got 3 trues across the board. I thought I was really going to get you guys with that. It is true. He starred in, what was it?
Trucks.
No, it was Lighted Up
I love
by
my
Luke
tractor.
Bryan.
You a big country guy?
No, that's why I was just guessing trucks and tractors.
I did not know.
But he's from Houston, so like that's Texas.
It makes sense,
Yeah.
but him being in a music video surprised me. All right, you guys ready for this next one?
That's not what I thought about.
Jimmy Butler has his own YouTube channel where he vlogs about his life every day.
every day.
He vlogs about his life.
No, that thing. Let me see that question again. Let me see that question.
I'm not gonna flip mine. I don't know
Steve's
this one.
pulling it up.
I
One
genuinely don't know this one.
Ooh, wait a minute. Hold on. Because if it was every day, I would have said, you know what?
I'm guessing. True.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Because I don't know yet.
Make your
All right, so we got a false from G. We got a true from Mike, locking it in.
I'm locking in.
Ty?
This is
I don't know.
this is the first one I haven't known.
All right,
I don't know.
Mike's got it. It's true. He has a YouTube channel apparently where he vlogs almost every day of his life. And you can go check out maybe some of his country music videos.
I hope you ask about something else that I know about, but I didn't.
Well, here, do we want to get the standings really quick with Earl?
Yeah, please. Earl,
We got my homeboy, my producer partner, McNuggets, leading the way with 5. Tyvis, you got 4. G, you got 3.
All right, let's take this next question here.
Tyvis is sweating. I see it. Tyvis starting to
I
sweat.
sweat.
Jimmy Butler broke Michael Jordan's record for the most points scored in a single half of basketball.
Ever?
Yeah.
Ever. Is this the Bulls record or is this the NBA record?
NBA record.
G ain't even messing around.
We got a true from Tyvis. We got a false from G.
There's no way.
False from Mike. It is, in fact, true. He scored 40 of his 42 points in the second half against the Raptors in 2016, breaking MJ's record.
Put me back on.
Shoot, now I'm sweating.
I'm notoriously bad for having bad true and false questions. I spent time on this last night.
Michael Jordan said that you could tell the signs of a good man when you talk stuff when you down, or when it's even. That's a good man. But anybody can do it when they up.
Hey,
All right, guys, here's the next one.
I can't, before we take it, I guess we take it. I can't believe.
Jimmy Butler has made the All-Star team in 8 of his 12 seasons.
I don't know.
He ain't Kobe. I'm going all false, man. I'm not a believer.
I don't know, actually. I feel like
we got a false from G. We got a false
true.
from Tyvis. Does this mean Tyvis may take the lead? Who knows? It is, in fact, false.
Was it
he
7?
only made it 6.
Damn it. Damn it.
And this is the last question, guys.
I know
Let's get a quick standings from Earl.
I know why Jason hates this game. This is, if I'm pissed. You know what? It ain't over. And I'm pissed
We got
off.
one question left. Earl, standings, please.
All right, one
Damn
question
it.
to go. We got Tyvis in the lead with the comeback. He got
Damn
6. Mike, you sitting at 5. G, you are sitting at 4.
It's not over. It ain't over till the fat lady sings, and I don't see no woman in here, so we good. We good.
G's out. All right, let's take the last question here, guys.
This better be a
Jimmy
good
Butler
one.
owns his own coffee company.
I'm looking a man in his eyes. I know the answer to this one.
Do you?
I know the answer. This is what I was hoping he was gonna ask about.
All right, so we got a true from G.
I'm looking Tyvis dead in the eye. Tyvis, take your sunglasses off.
No, not.
Steve Becker, this is a message to possibly get a tiebreaker.
Tyvis does not know this one.
I have no idea. No idea.
Are you guys ready?
I know this.
Tyvis, what you got? False?
Yes! We're going to overtime, baby. Tyvis does not have the clutch G, and I do. Let's go. He started in the bubble.
Yeah, he was inspired by how bad the coffee was
hyped.
in the bubble. It's called what, Big Face?
I'm hyped. All right, listen. When you lose as much as I do, sometimes it's the little victories in life that matter. And I'm going to lose in overtime because that's what always happens, but it's okay.
Yeah, we will have the tiebreaker for our members in overtime. I'll start looking some up
pissed.
while we go to our next topic.
I blew that one. I'm pissed.
Yeah, it was.
Hey, real quick though, guys, before our next topic, I just want to remind everybody
I can't
you
believe
can
that,
see
Tyvis.
your favorite golf legends play in the Colleague Companies Champion, July 12th through the July 16th at the famous Firestone Country Club. Fun, family-friendly events all week long featuring a new fan zone experience, free attendance for kids, and concerts every night. There's something for everyone. Learn more at colleaguegolf.com. So, guys, the NBA playoffs are still going on, and we have a little bit to talk about with Ja. So which one do you want to do first?
Do you guys want to start with Ja, and we'll do the rest, or you guys want to go around the horn and end with Ja? I'll leave it up to you guys, because you guys were here last Monday when you had the extremely insightful and honestly powerful conversation about Ja Morant.
What's the options?
You want to end with Ja and the basketball stuff, or you want to start with Ja?
We can start with it.
Start with it.
All right, so anyone who didn't see this morning, and then I'll let these two run with it however they want. Ja posted a series of Instagram stories, which, Anthony, I believe we have, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure the video itself is playing, but he posted a picture that says, "I love you, Ma. I love you, Pops." And then it's his daughter, and it says, "The best little girl ever." And then it just said, "Bye," in one of his interviews. So, unfortunately, the video is not playing through Tagboard for you guys right now, but that was what it was.
It was 4 posts, and a bit cryptic. There was no goodbye to whatever, but after what he's gone through the last 10 days and really the last 2-3 months, what do you guys make of the Instagram post here, Tyvis?
Well, the way I see it is that if reality has finally set in for him, and he's realizing that he yet again made another mistake. I think what he realized is that the mistake he made wasn't the necessarily having the gun. I'm not against him having the gun. I think he's realizing that I don't need to be in the light all the time. You know, I need to limit my friends, because at this point, you know, and that he loves 3 people. He loves his mother, his dad, and his daughter. And then he says bye, which that tells me that he's finally going to make his circle more smaller. You know, it's only his family will be the people in there, because this last incident, the reason that was shown to the world is through the people that he thought was his friends, the people that he thought, you know, had his best interest, that would look out for him, and instead they have brought all this negativity upon him. So I think that the cryptic means that, you know, he's gonna go get some help, and he's only gonna be with his family and spend time with his family, because he finally realizes that only his family has his best interest at heart.
G?
Well, I think what he's saying, you know, a lot of people thought like, hey, I'm hoping everything is okay. Like, they took the bye thing as being literal, like maybe, you know, hopefully he doesn't think about harming himself or anything like that. I took it as, you know, basically he's going to go to a long-term, you know, facility or long-term somewhere to, you know, seek some sort of counseling. And, you know, it's going to be a little long of a process, right? Sometimes if you take yourself out of the situation and you're gone for a long period of time, inpatient facilities and different things like that. So I think that that's what he meant when he was saying bye. But here I will say this: I do want to kind of, you know, sometimes when we talk about like this, and we talked about this, you know, in front of the camera and off the camera. I think there's a lot of things like, you know, people don't keep it real with athletes, right? I think that people aren't doing a very good job of telling them. In our society, and this is complete facts, this is facts. When you're an athlete, you can see a politician do something, you can see a rap artist do something, you can see a movie star do something, and you'll think, all right, well, what's the difference between me dancing around with this gun and Lil Durk doing it? Or what's the difference between, how can you be on YouTube and you can see a rapper have guns the whole time and be like, everybody goes and watches it? Why can Keanu Reeves be in the Matrix and they have guns everywhere and like they just do it, but that's Keanu Reeves and you can separate fact from fiction? Why is it that elected officials can walk around with AR-15s? They just can. Like, so I've been saying this forever. In our society, it's backwards. Athletes are put at the top of the food chain.
Fact.
Athletes are all the way up here. We hold them to a standard that no other group of individuals in this country are held to. And that's even for the important people. Like, we turn a blind eye to that because we feel like we are powerless to do anything. We're powerless to say anything or hold them accountable because they'll still do what they want to. And so we kind of look away. But I always want to tell people, and I always have to question them. Sometimes we get really sensationalized. If I say something and I come out and say Ja Morant shouldn't have did it, and he's, you know, he was really irresponsible. So then when the next person sees the clip, they feel like they gotta go one up. All right, now they gotta say, and instead of irresponsible, they'll say he was an idiot for doing it. Then the next person comes along and says, well, if I want to act like I'm gonna have something impactful to say, the next time somebody will say idiot, he should be stripped of all of his, and he doesn't understand it. And so as you can see how it escalates, one after another, after another, after another, to a point where we get to today, you'll go back and look at it, and the climate is like, dang, did he shoot somebody? Did somebody die? Did he kill somebody? What happened? Like, and you look back and you say, oh, he was flashing a gun in the video. Sometimes when you give your commentary on certain issues, we kind of get the soapbox thing where it just piles on people to make it this huge thing. And I've always stated it. I've always said it. And if you want to think that it's any different now, it's not. In our country, if an athlete does something, it will be on the front page every single week. But we don't have that same energy for nobody else. Right, wrong, indifferent. I'm just letting people know what it is. And for athletes, somebody should be telling them when they get into it, don't think it's sweet. Rappers can say and do what they want. Artists can paint whatever they want. Politicians gaslight people after mass shootings. They can do that, but you can't do that. You know why? Because you are the embodiment of what America sees as the American dream. A kid that came from nothing, that got millions of dollars to play a childhood sport. And whether people believe it or not, they don't like you for that. They like you until a point where you do something, you stay right here in this court and play well, fine. If you step out of line, they're going to make you know you got $230, $150 million, and that other people should be doing. You play a kid's game and get that money, you're an idiot for doing that. And I think people need to be well aware of that moving into when you talk about sports.
That was unbelievably eloquently said, G, seriously. And I agree with a lot of the stuff that you just hit on. And sometimes there are topics that come up where the right, especially in our world, UCSS world, there are the right people on the right day to have those conversations. And last Monday when I wasn't here, I'm not the right person to be part of the John Morant conversation. Like, I know the lanes where I know my stuff, and there's stuff I don't want to talk on something that I'm not familiar enough with to give you guys any real insight and context. And Earl was in the producer's chair that day, and I thought he handled his part of the conversation unbelievably eloquently. So I hope Ja gets the help he wants, but I want to hear what Earl has to say on this more than I have any strong opinion, and you guys should want to hear what Earl wants to say, or has to say more than anything I could say. So, Earl, when you saw this, what was your kind of take?
When I first saw the tweets this morning, I told you and Anthony, I was disturbed by it. It read to me like somebody that was crying out for help. And, I've unfortunately know of people who've, committed suicide and had suicidal thoughts. So that was honestly my initial, reaction to it. But to hear Tyvis lay it out that, he could have just been saying goodbye to the old life, to the negativity, to the bad energy, and finally taking the steps forward to get itself together. To G's point about, it's a different standard for athletes when it comes to the guns and things like that. For me, I mean, it's as black and white as this. I just want Ja to be safe. I just want to see Ja reach his full potential. I just want to see him be the best version of himself. And I know the things that he's doing can get him caught up in situations that some people can't come back from. So, hopefully the messages that we seen on his Instagram earlier today is just him, letting people know okay, it's time for me to step back, focus on the things that I need to do, focus on the people who really love me so that I can continue my career and put my family in a different situation for generations to come. So that's what I hope is going on, but whatever it is, Ja is in my prayers, and I mean that.
I agree. I think that's well said as well. I just, when I think about Ja, I think that, at some point you got to be able to separate the court from the personal life, and it's for example, it's players, it's football players like Troy Polamalu on the field, just
as good as
a beast, yeah. Like a dog. Off the field, the nicest guy. Brian Dawkins on the field, a beast, warrior, gladiator. Off the field, one of the nicest guys you ever meet in your life. And I think for Ja, with that whole Memphis Grizzly thing, what made them special is that they talk trash. They was ones that poked at you. They backed down from nobody. They seemed like a tough group of basketball
players. You said you wanted the Browns to be this
exactly.
Year. Yeah.
But off the court, you don't necessarily need to be that guy. On the court to succeed, yeah, you might need to be that. But off the court, you don't have to be that. And I think it's hard to separate the two. And a lot of athletes make this mistake, where who I am on the field is who I think I have to be off the field. And that's not necessarily the case. You have to find a good common ground where it's okay, I need to be a good citizen off the court. But in the battle, on the field, on the court, I can be this dog and be this guy with this attitude that backs down from nobody. And I think that's the part that he seems to be struggling with, that he got to find the difference in the two.
Yeah, it's sometimes and money is a thing too. Money, sometimes you get money.
It changes.
You are a person without. You're a person without Indian without a tribe. You just kind of out there. I got 250 million, 300 million. I got more money. I know what to spend, right? So every new person, people talk about it. Every new person that you know, a lot of guys that are rich, a lot of athletes that I know, they don't deal with new people. Drake said it, hey, no new friends, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, I don't know what you want. Like, anytime you're an athlete, somebody call you and say, yo, you want to do this or you want to do this, you hit you up. They don't even have their DMs open. So you keep the same circle of people around you. And then when you get those same circle of people around you, what you don't understand is that 250 that made them different. I always say,
that's a fact.
It made them you different. It made them different. Now it's like, I got all this money. If I do something stupid, I can get out of jail. If I do something dumb, my man got me a lawyer. I could go to this club, I could start a fight, and I really ain't never gonna get in no real trouble. Like, they become entitled to a sense of being like, it's inflated, like, not just look at you, it's look at me. Like, I'm that's my guy. But I look at it like this, you know, for me, if I would have went to the league, I know for a fact there would be 5, 6 cousins that I got, even my brothers. They would would have records. They would be in, like, because, no, I'm just saying.
No, it's real.
This is fact.
It's real. Yeah.
They going to jail, like, because.
I laugh because you said records, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
They going to jail tomorrow because they feel like instead of you in a car, the cop says, hey, you got your license. They ain't about to show them, like, I ain't showing you nothing.
I'm G. Bush,
you know who my big homie is? Like, that's an intoxicating thing. And now you're learning that the people around you can be the liabilities. They don't even have to really be you. You could just be a liability. So it changes you in a way where you're trying to figure out how to maneuver and how to be in these different rooms, and because you do have a lot of money. You with a lot of other people that may not necessarily look like you, like owners. Like, hey, Meek Mill said it best. Like, he hangs out with Robert Kraft, right? He said, when I started hanging around them, it started to change the way I thought about things. Like, those individuals didn't have guns. They don't need guns. They're not looking over their back like that. Is because they're not attracting certain energy. And so that's the big thing is when you got guns and stuff, that attracts a whole nother different crowd of energy and people that want to see about that. So at the end of the day, if he changes his circle and gets back to who really counts, like in that thing, as long as you take care of your mom and your dad and your daughter, yeah, that's all you owe people.
Yeah, we'll end this and move on to the other NBA topics in a sec. But at the NBA draft lottery, Malika Andrews asked NBA Commissioner Adam Silver about the Ja Morant situation, and he laid it out in pretty layman's terms that, like, you got off relatively light the first time. Like, we're about to drop the gauntlet. And I hope personally that Ja got that message, is doing what you said, Tyvis, and kind of cutting off the outer edges of his circle, tightening it up, and going to get whatever help in whatever way that is that he needs. And takes it, runs from there, and becomes the Ja Morant that we grew to love on the court again without the off-court extracurricular activities. And
remember, just really quickly, because you remember, we all remember the Malice in the Palace, right?
Yes.
Think about
almost 20 years ago.
20 ago. That's crazy.
Almost 20 years.
I heard Isaiah Thomas talking about it. Isaiah Thomas, Steven Jackson. Isaiah Thomas said, remember Steven Jackson? He was on his podcast. He called Isaiah and said, "Hey, bro, I need you to talk to Stern for me, bro, because they was getting ready to put these dudes out of the league. They was gonna hit them with the Kaepernick, all of them. Bye, bro.
Artest, Steven Jackson,
all of them.
Hey, Ben Wallace too.
Right. So when at that point in time, think about what came out of that though. Dress codes.
Yep.
People thought that was the dress code thing was like punitive. Back then, you could wear do-rags. Back then, you could wear, it was almost the Allen Iverson rule. They made it different. But what spawned out of that, though, it was crazy because now you get people like Kuzma, you get people like Russ, you get guys that gave you an opportunity to show their fashion sense, that they can dress, that they could be, suited up.
Kuzma is a little questionable.
His is over the top.
Fashion in general is a little questionable.
Right.
There's some fits out there that I look at, I'm like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander wore
the boots, the red boots.
No, I'll show you guys. Anthony, I'm gonna send you a tweet in 1
James
sec.
Harden wore the little puppet on his.
Yeah. So
The red boots were pretty.
So
crazy.
It was fire. The red boots is fire.
Oh, I like them. They're
they
crazy.
went
Anthony, I'm
from
sending you a tweet
throwback.
right now. I need you to throw up as quickly as you can.
Went from throwback jerseys and jewelry and do-rags to like now it's fashion. Now, guess what? That opens up your league to more people. Now they say, oh, wow, people that are fashionistas, guys that are like, oh, I like watching NBA. These guys dress like this. So there are going to be some rules and changes that come from it. I don't know what it's going to be, but sometimes it works for the better.
Yeah, and like I said, at the end of the day,
Mike, this is the Met Gala.
Yeah.
Well, but I'm saying this is what fashion.
Fashion,
pull it up,
right?
Pull it up.
Put it up.
This is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at the Met Gala. Like, is he a religious figure or a
What's wrong with
supervillain?
that?
I'm not quite sure. But like he pulls it off. Can you imagine me wearing that?
No.
That's what I'm saying. Like fashion, today's era of fashion, I just
And so
don't
now,
always get it.
So now, look, that's that people now said that's an extra bag. Now you can get a clothing bag.
Yeah.
Now you can get a designer bag.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? That's a different type of exposure. So now people is getting it when it was seen as this is the thug rule because people went in the stands.
Yeah.
Now they want us to do this. So, everything sometimes evolves and sometimes for the better, man.
We got 5 minutes before we have a special top 5 that Anthony has been producing and prepping for weeks now. But we have Tyvis on set.
Mm-hmm.
He's here 1 day a week. And Tyvis, you forced Jay to leave the group chat yesterday.
What is that? No, I did not.
Yes, you did.
No, I
Yes,
did
you
not.
did.
First of all, hold on. Let me take my glasses off because I want to see the reaction on the faces when I say this. I did not force Jay to do anything, okay? Jason forced Jay to lead the chat. That's first of all. So basically, what happened was this, okay? LeBron got swept. And all I said was, Giannis would never do nothing like that. 3 times in a career, Giannis would never get swept 3 times, which is factual information.
Are you being facetious about that?
No, I'm just saying, Giannis would never do it.
Giannis didn't have a choice to. Giannis is at the crib right now.
You do know Giannis didn't win a game in this playoffs.
Right.
The Bucks won a game,
The
but
Bucks
he
won-
didn't play.
He didn't get swept though.
But he didn't play.
No,
He didn't win a game.
But he got swept.
So
No,
you
he
say
didn't.
you say
No, he didn't.
LeBron.
What was the final? What did
He didn't play
No,
that
no,
game.
no. What was the Heat in the Bucks final?
It's 4-1.
Okay.
4-1.
How many?
4-1.
Okay.
How many wins Giannis? 0. How many wins with the Bucks without Giannis?
How
1.
many did the Bucks have?
With Giannis? 0.
How many did they have in the series?
1.
Okay.
So, it's
So
like
what
you're-
are we talking?
It's like
What
you're saying-
team does Giannis play for?
I'm just saying, it's like you're saying that LeBron, Jason said this yesterday. Should LeBron have not scored 25 points in a row against the Pistons in the fourth quarter to make the finals that year?
No.
Like what's worse? Getting swept by the Spurs but making the finals? Or LeBron not putting on a historic performance in the fourth quarter to beat the Pistons, even to reach the finals in 2007 with a putrid supporting cast?
I think that I'd rather not make it.
That's dumb.
I'd rather not make it.
That's crazy. That's insane.
I told y'all Tyvis was cooking
And this
up.
is why Jay just walked out.
Why
Yeah,
would
and then
I-
so Jay
That's
left the group chat.
insane.
No, I'm saying what? Because you getting the same results anyway.
So you'd rather not make the
y'all about to make me cuss. Y'all in here, y'all are one of the ones in here that's happy with participation trophies.
No.
I'd rather make the finals than not be in
So,
it.
to get what?
So you got to
To get what?
To have a chance.
To make it to the championship
didn't-
game, you have to win games.
Yes.
If you're a competitor, you want to win every single game. It's crazy to say that you would rather lose in the first round or not make the playoffs and not win games.
That's so absurd.
Just to say, well, I'm the same as the guy who came in the finals.
At the end of the day, we all in the same place. Are we not?
Okay.
What's the difference?
So I'll
We lost. Y'all lost in the championship. We lost in the 1st round. What's the difference?
I'll take it a step further. They say death is the great equalizer, right? So does that mean, at the end of the day, I'm going to end up in a box or ashes or crib? Hold on. I'm going to end up dead just like the rest of y'all. So it don't matter if you was rich, poor, don't have food. No, that all counts because at the end of the day, I really would like to enjoy my life.
Yeah.
Well,
not just say we equal when
Well,
we
it's
die.
interesting because one of the greatest debates about the Jordan and LeBron thing is that the finals record.
LeBron made it a lot. Jordan never lost.
That's created.
To me, that's like if my team sucks and we're not gonna win, and we talking about
So you don't give LeBron props for carrying
No, I
a
do.
couple terrible
I
teams
do.
to the finals?
I do. All I'm saying is Giannis would never. That's what I said, and I stand on that.
Giannis couldn't carry his team past an 8 seed.
Dang. LeBron would never lose to an AC.
Yeah, LeBron would never lose to an A seed, bro.
Hey.
Like, LeBron would never lose to an. How many times was LeBron? Hey, Earl, can we get the stats department on this, or Anthony, real quick?
Earl,
how
had to go
many
to the
times
bathroom,
has
so give me a
LeBron
second.
been on 1 seed in his career? And tell me if he's ever lost to an 8 seed.
I don't think he's
I'm gonna
done
guess
that.
the answer is 0.
0.
0.
Yeah, no.
Where are you going with this?
I'm just saying things LeBron.
So let me ask you
LeBron
this.
had never done.
So let me ask you this.
has
Hold
Le-
on. Wait a minute. Let me ask you this. At the end of your career, would you rather say, I was a 1 seed and lost to an 8 seed, or I got swept 3 times?
Well, I would
Depends
say
on where I got
just
swept, yeah.
If I got swept in the finals by one of the best teams ever, I don't.
And if I got
know-
something in the finals in 2007 with who was their second best player?
Okay.
Bobby Gibson, the second best player.
Okay.
Shannon Brown. I don't
Shannon
know.
Brown. Like,
Would you rather say you got swept, or would you rather say you never got swept at all? Because one of these sweeps was not in the finals.
let me ask you this question though, Tyvis.
Let's hear.
How many times
Let's hear.
how
Because
many-
Giannis didn't get swept
I'd rather be
ever.
swept.
So, and LeBron got swept twice in the finals, and one was not in the finals. So what do you have to say about that one?
I still would rather be swept than lose to an 8 seed. That's losing to an 8 seed's happened 5 times in the history of the NBA.
Your man.
There's 5 sweeps a year essentially. In
It's
the
a
NBA.
lot of variables that go into this.
Giannis is now known for giving the best charity speech ever. Hold on. No. I don't want to get too personal. I do not want to take it personally because I take it too personally. But I say every single year you're not able to win championship. You never win championship every year. Some days you'll lose in the finals. Some days you'll lose in the first round.
So let me ask you this: was LeBron's season a failure?
No.
Okay.
For the
He
record,
was
I
a
cannot
7
find.
seed, made the
So
Western Conference Finals.
Giannis is correct there with his statement.
Whatever. Listen. Whatever.
I'm just asking a question.
Hey,
So
hey,
Jason, Giannis was correct, right, with his statement, because if you consider LeBron's season not a failure this year, then obviously Giannis had a little bit of weight of what he was saying. While you mocked him and got the best award, which I got robbed for anyways, but you got the best award for what was it? The best take, or was it the worst take?
You know, Tyvis.
He got the best overtime take.
Oh, best overtime take. So I feel like we need a recount because Giannis was correct.
Listen, Tyvis, I did not win one game against the Heat. I miss game. They win game. I come back, they lose 3-4 games. I don't know what's going on.
LeBron's
Tyvis.
been a 1 seed 5 times.
I'm just confused.
5-0 against 8 seeds.
I'm confused on the fact that we lost 4-1 and we got swept. That I'm so
Well,
confused.
it's
by the
ironic that they
argument.
won the one game that Giannis didn't play.
Okay, but he still didn't get swept though. Does it go down as a sweep in his career?
It does.
I'm curious.
Gentlemen.
It does not.
I'm just
Speaking of
curious.
sweeps, Anthony has a basketball team coming up that I think could sweep everybody. But Anthony, give us a read. Explain what's happening.
Let's do it.
So real quick, guys, I just want to remind everybody one last time that you can see your favorite golf legends play in the Colleague Companies Championship July 12th through July 16th at the famous Firestone Country Club. Fun, family-friendly events all week long featuring a fan zone experience, free attendance for kids, and concerts every night. There's something for everyone, and you can learn more at colleaguegolf.com. And I don't really have a interesting thing, but reminder, you can eat Built Bars and you can buy Built Bars using code LOCKEDON15 at BuiltBar.com. I didn't have anywhere
Bad
to
job
sneak
out
in
of
today.
you, Anthony.
Bad
'cause
job out of me.
I know what's coming for this top 5, and there are some supersized figures in this next topic. And you could have said, "Oh, how did this one person get to be like a gajillion feet tall?" Well, they ate Built Bars as a kid. Their parents smashed them up, put them in a smoothie, and gave them as
He
a
dropped
baby,
the ball.
and that's why they're big. So bad job out
That's
of you.
fair.
You've done a great
That's
job
fair.
the rest of the show. So yeah, what's this top 5?
All
Tell
right, so
people.
a little setup. Steve, you can take tag board full here after this. We have been getting tweeted every day for about a month by the Showboys podcast. So shout out to them. Small little Twitter account asking for us to do a Pokemon segment on the show. And unfortunately, G and I are the only two who can do this.
I caught Pikachu, so I'm done with the app.
All right. Well, you've won Pokemon, Tyvis. Congratulations. So I wanted to tie it to sports somehow. We're going to do a quick list of my top 5 starters. And I'm going to put together a top 5 starting team, starting with my point guard.
And wait, before you go, Anthony.
Yeah, go for
So
it.
you and Gio know these Pokemon. Me and Tyvis are going to be completely like.
That's
freaked out
not
over
true
it.
because I watched it as a kid, so I still might know.
So,
something.
okay,
I did take most of the older ones.
Are
I don't know a
are
lot of
these
the
are
new
these
ones.
generations
Yeah,
1,
so
2,
maybe we'll
3,
know.
4?
I don't think I went further than 4.
Okay.
I might
I
know
went to
something.
the official
yes.
Pokemon.com.
You on your own, McNuggets.
No, I mean I played like Pokemon Red back in the day, but like if
yo,
it's not the
yo.
OG Pokemon, I ain't gonna know.
Go ahead,
nobody.
lay them out.
All right. So
Who's your
starting
point
at my
guard?
point guard, I'm going small. I got 2'7" Raichu weighing in at
Oh,
66
that's
pounds.
Pikachu's
The man's got hops.
when
though.
he evolves. When he evolves,
is.
he turns into
That's
Raichu.
bigger Pikachu.
He's got
Come on now.
hops? Yeah,
Come
he's
on
bigger.
now.
Steve Bush, you're the Pokemon expert. Thoughts on this pick?
Here's the reason. The reason he's the point guard is because obviously he has leadership traits. He walks outside of the Pokeball. Like he just does what he wants. Like
That's
Pikachu
Raichu do that too?
Raichu does not do that, but he's an evolutionary state. So I'm gonna go. He got the leadership ability. He's out of the Pokeball, and they give him like they let him get money off with Ash, and I don't believe it's true. Like they make him stronger than he really is. He's like the dark magician in Yu-Gi-Oh.
Are you ready for some Pokemon knowledge? Yo, what does every team need, especially at the scrappy point guard position?
Potion.
A spark plug. What's his move?
He's an electric type. You got that
Yeah,
right. There
look
you
at me
go.
remembering.
Now-
Yeah.
now-
Look at that. I'm back in the game, baby. I'm back in the game. Let's go.
Now, I was going to say that there's a lot of other smaller Pokemons that could have been guards, but we'll continue on. Go ahead.
All right, so my shooting guard, I went with 4'11", 89 pounds, Gengar. He's a ghost type, so he can bounce
I
around,
know
just
him.
appear in the corner,
I know
appear
him
in the
too.
wing.
He was with the
Ghastly,
yeah,
right?
Jesse.
No, Ghastly.
No, I'm saying
No, Jesse's from the down the block. It's
no,
Ghastly.
no, I'm saying the people
Not
that Ash and them used to go against all the time.
well,
that
I
was,
know this one
Team
because Anthony's
Rocket.
got the
Yeah,
tattoo,
Team
right?
Rocket.
I have his.
Come
Yeah,
on
Anthony's
now.
got a
That's
tattoo of him.
Haunter. But yes, I do have him on my arm, and I also have Raichu on my arm.
He 4'11".
little biased.
He is capable of flying and taking over a person's mind. Energetic. He's a terror defensively. And this guy is
gives you
going
nightmares.
to. This dude is going to be in the back pockets of an opposing shooting guard. Gengar is all defensive team first team all defense squad. Easy.
Okay, I don't know. I'll see the rest of your top five, but when I thought shooting guard, what was Big Squirtle? That had the guns coming out.
Blastoise?
Yeah, Blastoise.
Blastoise.
That's a shooter
A little
right there.
too slow though.
That's a shooter.
I wanted somebody quick.
Fair. I'm just saying
I'm
that's
going
a shooter.
with speed. I'm making up for the height.
Okay.
Don't worry.
All
My
right, who's your
guard.
Splash brother. I mean, I don't know why
Splash. Yeah,
you
right.
kind of missed
yeah,
that one.
me and
It was
Tyler
a
said the
layup.
same. Me and
It's a layup you missed.
Yeah.
It's a bad
Splash
job
brother.
out of you. Go ahead.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm making up for the height.
Okay.
I got my small forward with a Blaziken. He is the Gen 3 fire starter.
Oh, no,
Final
him.
form. He's 6'3",
got nice hair, though.
114 pounds. The man's a menace. He's fast. He can jump.
This must
He's got
have-
a jump shot.
G's not happy with you.
These must have
Gee,
came.
what you got for
he
me?
must have came out after
Listen,
2004.
Listen, I don't know like the length, but I like Abracadabra or
that's a good one,
Alakazam.
too.
Oh, magician with the ball?
I like
Yeah.
Alakazam, but there's another one that I got. Blastoise is a little too slow. I want somebody that's moving around a little bit. What about Manchop?
Oh, I know him.
Yeah.
Like that, like
All
this.
four arms?
Yeah.
Oh,
four-
yeah.
I know him.
Listen, powerful,
That's an
get to the
all
rim.
defensive stop. We need Akuro to be more like.
What's his?
Machop.
Ain't he like?
That's true.
what's
I
his
dropped the
name?
ball on my
Gayu
3-guard. You're right.
Guru? What's his name before he become man child? Ain't he?
Geodude.
Geo? Is it that
No,
one?
no,
Geodude was the little
Completely
rock
different.
with the.
No.
Yeah, that's
That's not
No,
the same
completely
dude.
different line.
Dang.
Yep.
Geodude's not a
No.
Pokemon.
No, he
Oh,
is.
Geodude's right, but he's not a. No.
He's
He's
not.
He's a little bolder, right?
Geo-
He's a little
Top
bolder,
up, yeah.
yeah.
And what? Never mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
Never mind.
This is my favorite part of this.
Never
Is you
mind.
two trying to figure it out. All right, so we're gonna go with my power forward. I got 6'7",
Blastoise?
445 pounds. Tyranitar.
I don't know him.
Never seen.
He must have been after 2003 too.
He
Never
is
seen
a
that.
Gen 2, I believe.
Man, see, I went. Here's how I did it, bro. I went small ball. I want to
went
go small
big.
ball. So at my power forward, I got Mewtwo.
Oh, that's a good one.
I don't know him.
6
Yeah,
foot.
you know Mewtwo.
6'7", 269. And his abilities are crazy.
He was the bad guy in the first
I
video.
I appreciate that, G. I saved my one legendary Pokemon pick for my center, and I'll show you why here.
All right.
We'll take the center at 11 feet, 6 inches tall, 2,000 pounds. We got Groudon from Generation 3. Can literally move mountains and control lava.
Hey.
Nobody's getting in the paint.
Hey, listen.
That dude's huge.
I went.
Massive.
Pause.
I went with Giratina. 4th generation Pokemon, 14 feet, weighs 1,650 pounds, and one of 3 Pokemon, super pause, to create Sino.
G, hold up. Say that one more time. I gotta bonkless this.
Giratina.
Okay.
4th generation renegade Pokemon, stands over 14 feet and weighs over 615 pounds. 1650, sorry about that. Almost 2 tons.
Who's you have a 6-man?
Yep, I got a 6-man.
I did not do a 6th man, but if I had to pick one, I'd probably pick Charizard.
There you go.
Charizard,
There you go. By the way, Charizard is a 6-man. He don't be paying attention.
Did y'all ever get our questions?
If you don't
It's in
level
overtime.
him up correctly, he will not do what he needs to do on Pokemon Yellow. You gotta level him up correctly, or he will refuse to fight. So,
I mean, listen. I think
got a
a big miss was not having Blastoise in there as a Splash Brother. I think it's a big miss. And Tyvis, you want to read that real quick? We do have an update on John Morant.
Oh, it says that John Morant gets the welfare check. Officers say NBA star is fine after going to his home this morning following concerning posts by Morant on his IG. So he is fine.
So he is good. Honestly, we're happy for John Morant. Like I said, we all wish him the best. And if he does decide to get help, kudos to him. Whenever he needs, we will fully support him. In overtime, coming up, we are talking about which number 15, if the Nuggets were to retire a jersey, which 15 would they hang up in the rafters?
It's a no-brainer.
Melo or Joker? If it's a no-brainer, don't tell me which it is, because I think it's a no-brainer too, but I hope we're not on the same side of the
I also think it's a no-brainer.
easy money. Continue.
All right, well, it might be the easiest discussion ever. It was another Steve Becker overtime suggestion. So when Steve Becker sends us topics for overtime, guess what? We're going to do it. He's going to tell us we don't have to, but Steve, you're the boss. If you send it to us, we will do it. And with that, we will see you tomorrow on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show.